Alright, hello everybody, and welcome back to LRC for round number 8 of Season 7 here today at the Temple of Speed in Monza. We've got a sprint weekend format coming up, which means extra action, 2 qualifying sessions, 2 races, and it is going to be quite hectic, a lot of things to get through here, and helping me get through them is going to be none other than Ixis here in the commentary box.
Hello everyone. Some might say it's double the chaos,
Indeed, yeah.
like the sprint formats.
Yeah, we've got double the chaos in the race and double the commentary team as well to try and tackle it. So we'll do our best to make everything through. As we already see the beginnings of the chaos as Blazer just, well, I don't know what he's doing at the moment. He just drove straight through the grass at the or straight through the bollards at the first corner. And now he's driving through the grass at turn 3, negotiating one of the V-carb drivers there. We have a new driver here today, and that is one of the V-carb drivers. He's still in the pits, Giulio, who is one of our 3 home drivers here, one of our 3 Italians on the grid. Obviously, the other 2 being Leland, who is also in the pits, and Nardo, who is also in the pits, so they're all lined up nicely 12th, 13th, and 14th at the moment. But yeah, everybody getting the, well, not everybody, but a lot of the drivers coming out to get their first laps in here. Obviously, this is qualifying just for the sprint race, which means it is a bit of a shorter session, so things will be happening quite quickly here today.
Yeah, I don't really understand why everyone got out so early, but you know it's driver's decision at the end. We don't have anything to say in the commentary basement about the driver's decision, so
Yeah, we're here to relay the information of whatever they choose to do. So we'll see how things go. It looks like Tremeshev is going to be the first to set a competitive time. He's going to do so on mediums, interestingly enough. So maybe we do need the tires. Yeah, we definitely need the tires. Dan is currently on wet tires. If he's on the track, which he most definitely is, that is going to be quite the penalty incoming for him. I believe that is a slam dunk qualifying ban at the next race. So complete disaster for Dan there. Not really doing anything to help V-carb in the hopes of, you know, finally kick and start their championship standings and maybe getting some points. So yeah, I don't really know why you would do that. We've had multiple instances of this recently, and drivers still haven't seemed to learn, but oh well. We do currently have some racing going on the track, even though it is only qualifying. One of the Aston Martins, that would be Mr. Bust, of course it would, is immediately going to overtake Tremeshev around the outside into Parabolica, because both of them are on competitive laps, and he started his lap so close to the back of the Sauber driver that he ended up having to make a pass. So yeah, certainly interesting stuff there. Didn't help either of them, and now Bimpo is going to be the provisional quickest driver with a 1:18.9.
yeah, Bimpo real blazing pace, already 1 second ahead of the second place. I mean it's only start of the qualifying session, but still a pretty nice gap
Yeah, sure
to the
is.
second
And
place.
riding on board here with one of our, like we say, 3 Italian drivers. Nardo is another one out on the mediums. We do have, more interestingly than Dan on wet tyres, we do have an even split almost of medium and soft runners. So that suggests to me that we're going to have a bit of a mix-up in strategy here today. Very surprising to see so many drivers opting for the medium tyres. So yeah, it seems like the options of strategy might be a little bit limited across the weekend here. And certainly going to make the upcoming sprint race and presumably the actual Grand Prix race very entertaining to watch as well. So we'll see how that goes, but equally entertaining right now is Nardo's first flying lap of the session. He is, like we say, on medium tyres, and he is saying a very strong lap time as it stands. Heading into a scar, he's going to run wide though, and he is going to invalidate that lap time over the curbs. We obviously do not have the renovated version of Monza here in the game, still the old one, and unfortunately, that has caught out the McLaren driver on his first lap.
Yeah, it did catch him out of guard. But it's like worth saying that Nardo is on medium and Bimpo is on soft, so that like shows that Nardo is really fast. He was
Yeah, for sure.
improving quite a bit on Bimpo.
And we also have our championship leader making his way around the final corner. Of course, the driver who was battling Nardo for the win in last week's race in Australia, 2 weeks ago's race in Australia, Elias comes to the line and is not able to beat Bimpo, but of course Elias is also another driver on medium tyres, so things are definitely going to be looking very interesting in this sprint race. Of course, overtaking is very much possible here in Monza, but likewise, so are DRS trains, so you still certainly want to get as good a qualifying position as you can. So things are looking pretty interesting here already, and we've only got 6 minutes left to go in this shortened qualifying session.
Yes, not a lot of time left for drivers to set their laps. It's worth pointing out that almost half of the grid has not set a lap yet, which is quite interesting. Maybe they are going for like one run in this quali session, trying to not waste any sets of tires.
Yeah, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I would imagine potentially some of the guys who've gone out on mediums now might go for another run on softs, but we'll see if that pans out to be the case. Nardo is about to end his actual first lap of qualifying. He's kept it valid this time, so up the line. It is only good enough for P10 though for Nardo, so clearly the tyres drop enough after the first lap, even on the mediums. So he is almost certainly going to have to go again at some point in the session. I mean, it's possible that he's got enough fuel to just keep on going, but yeah, it's ideally at some point going to need to recharge his battery, potentially come into the pits for some new tyres, because he should be a lot further up the field if his pole position time in Australia is anything to go by, as we have the last of a couple drivers coming across the line now, and that is going to put a pause on the action for the moment. As you can see on the mini-map, we have pretty much everybody in the pit, well, most of the drivers in the pit, actually no, about half the drivers in the pits. We do still have a lot of people on track, but nobody setting any times in the near future.
Yes, I'm gonna really quickly change the topic to setup, to the question of setups, the setups that drivers use, because recently I watched quite an experiment, not in Monza but in Mexico, in F124. Where Mr. X put in like very low wings, and in some cases low wings maybe like actually faster in the race pace than high wings setup. I don't know if that makes sense. I kind of lost the track of what I was saying, but the thing is that I'm really keen to see what setups drivers opted for.
Yeah, for sure.
High wings, low wings.
It will be interesting. Obviously, you would naturally think low wings will be better for qualifying, higher wings will be a little bit more beneficial in the race, but we'll have to see if that does run true here. I would imagine, well, if last season and last year's game is anything to go by, we can probably count on Elias to run some pretty low wings here, but I don't know. It's certainly plenty different this year than how it was last year, but whilst you were talking about that, we also saw Nardo on his third lap of qualifying set the fastest lap of qualifying, so he's certainly still finding some pace on the medium tyres. He's finally decided to back off now, so will not be making it a fourth lap in the row, but he obviously doesn't need to. Very strong stuff by him, and he goes 1/10 quicker than Bimpo was able to do on softs. So that is a sign of this McLaren driver's pace. Like we say, it's his home race here today, and he is absolutely not messing around. Still yet to score a point in LRC, can you believe it? But he has got some fantastic pace, and he's got 2 opportunities to try and get some points under his belt here today. So we'll see how he is able to do, and in the meantime, we'll see Binmeister, or Shadow, starting his next flying lap of qualifying as he heads down towards turn 1. He's another driver on the medium tyres, so it does seem that the medium is preferred for, presumably, strategic reasons at this point in the session. And yeah, we'll see what happens towards the end. I'll turn on the tyre graphic again in a second, and do that right now, and see, yeah, quite a few drivers have indeed made the switch from mediums onto a set of softs, so we'll see who decides to go again. Also want to point out, we've got currently Narde up in P4 showing some great pace and showing that McLaren can really be a big threat here as Elias decides he's not going to go any further. He retires from the session, although that looks to be not in the pits but on the track. It was somewhere on the entry to the Della Roggia chicane. Elias was retired. I don't know if there was some kind of accident or what's going on there, but yeah, he's going to be starting 3rd place at best for the championship leader in the sprint race, and Nardo also retires, so I'm a little bit suspicious of what's going on. I suppose it makes more sense for Nardo. But yeah, I've seen Phil retire, Zoxon retire. I think we might be getting a lobby restart here, so we might have to take a look at the league chat. I will have a look now, see if that is the case, or if everybody does just feel like retiring. I think Phil might have retired already. Hold on. It doesn't seem to be the case, so it may just be a coincidence that we had 3 drivers retire at the same time.
It's really strange that Elias retired. I mean, he was starting a he was on an outlap on a brand new set of softs, so that's pretty strange. Maybe he just had a very late reflection, like about his strategic call to go out on yet another lap on softs, and just decided to retire to save that set. But yeah, pretty interesting choice by Elias to retire.
I don't know. It is certainly quite bizarre from him, but yeah, I like I say, it was on the track, and you're not really allowed to retire on the track just willy-nilly. So it does suggest to me that there was some kind of mistake that triggered him to do that. But again, doing that on a straight line before a corner is all very bizarre. So we'll see if we can figure out maybe with the replays after the race what happened to the Bahraini driver. But unfortunately for him, he's going to be going no further in qualifying. Meanwhile, Bidmeister, he wasn't a lap, he's backed off, and at the top of the shot, I saw there was something going on. Is it Aston? Is it Mr. Bust? Indeed, it was Mr. Bust, spinning coming out of Ascari. Bimpo takes the checkered flag, he's not able to improve, so he's going to be starting second at best, as Bimpo looks to not do a lance stroll and rejoin safely, so that's good for him, but certainly not good for him, though, because he's obviously thrown away his final lap in qualifying, as those final times do start to come in now.
And a set of tires.
Indeed, yeah. And also another one. There's a Haas this time. That is, well, that would be Tim Bleish, so I suppose a little bit less surprising on that occasion. But yeah, a lot of drivers seemingly falling foul of the Ascari chicane. Obviously, one of the trickier corners on the track here. There aren't that many corners, but they are plenty challenging enough, the ones that there are. So here comes Blazer. He's going to be making his way up to the checkered flag here to set his final lap of the session. He does improve and gets himself up to P5. Meanwhile, Mr. Bus AI, thankfully, after crossing the line, is backwards in the middle of the track, so shouldn't really hinder anyone, but yeah, still a little bit of a bizarre sight. Nade seems like he's going to come back into the pits. Indeed he is, so he's going to be starting 6th place at best. Julio is going to make his way up to the line, and he will cross it now. Unable to improve, he's going to start down in P12 as it stands. Trimashu certainly isn't going to improve with a monumental accident coming towards the line, and as the last driver on track, that will round out this sprint qualifying session.
That was also before the line, his crash, I believe. Yeah. Before the finishing line.
He's lucky that he was the final driver on the track.
Yeah, otherwise he would have been obliterated with penalties, I guess. I'm guessing at least.
Yeah, most likely. Either way, thankfully for him, that will not be the case. And yeah, we just wait for everybody to get back in the pits, as they now do. And we can recap the finishing order of qualifying. So Elias, despite his slightly bizarre retirement, was able to actually hold on to 3rd place in the end, because not that many people did improve on their lap times. So Nardo will take pole position for the sprint from Bimpo in 2nd. Elias, for the first time this season, not on the front row in any competitive race. Binmeister will join him on row 2. Then Blazer will be 5th, ahead of Nardo in 6th. Mr. Bust in 7th, Young Savo AJ in 8th. Then perhaps and Unitas rounding out the top 10, ahead of Balta, Julio, Dan, Zoxon, Leland, Trimache, Phil Malone, Tim Bleish, and Slinks. Rounding off the order, Slinks not setting a time. I don't know if he has a qualifying ban again to serve. He may well do, but in any case, it's not going to be a particularly easy race for either him or Phil.
Yeah, it's yeah, we're looking at a pretty interesting race, and also it's worth pointing out that the difference between the mediums and softs is well, pretty low.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, P1 for a medium runner pretty much says it all. Either it's the pace or it's just the lack of difference between these two compounds.
Yeah, for sure. So we can refresh ourselves on the rest of the order. So yeah, like I say, I'm going to assume that both Phil and Slinks must have had qualifying bans. That would be the only logical reason they wouldn't set a lap time. So yeah, those guys are going to be starting down the order, so we'll see what they're able to do. We know that their pace is much better than that. Both of them finished in the top 5 in the last race, so they can certainly improve, but they're going to have quite the level of chaos to try and navigate if they would like to improve on that position in the sprint race. Also, I will note that you can see in the background, the clouds have started to gather over the track. Now, we're not expecting any rain in the sprint race, though we are expecting some rain after the sprint race once we get into the Grand Prix qualifying session. So that is going to be interesting. Should be all dry for now, but you can never be too sure with EA.
Maybe VCarb weather forecast was still set to like race day or something. That's why Dan went out on wet.
Yeah,
well,
maybe.
although yeah, that's not really an explanation, but yeah.
We've seen stranger things happen in LRC. He might have just been getting a little bit overeager for the tricky conditions, but yeah. In any case, we will wait for the drivers to finish preparing and procuring their setups and strategies for this race. Obviously, wouldn't expect a pit stop since it's going to be, well, I would have to imagine maybe a 7-lap race, something around that mark. It's going to be very short. So, yeah, I'm expecting full chaos here in this one. Everyone is just going to be basically throwing the kitchen sink at whatever hope of points they can have and trying to accrue as many places as is possible, since obviously if they do make mistakes or if something does go wrong, there's not really any consequences if you weren't running in the points already, since we'll just move on to the next qualifying straight after. So yeah, it does promote a little bit of more aggressive driving, shall we say, and we will see if that is what transpires in however many laps lie ahead of us here, but it is going to be certainly quite short and sweet, this race here.
Yes, and I'd like to point out that brakes are going to be really cold approaching turn 1, so that's gonna cause even more chaos in the turn 1. Also, we might see some drivers locking their tires in turn 1 or before turn 1.
And well, yeah,
hopefully no one slides into turn 1.
Yeah, hopefully we can avoid anyone doing the Vit Antonio Liuzzi. That would be ideal if that didn't happen. But one thing that we do have, well, we have Slinks disconnecting from the session and not making his way off the grid, so hopefully he's able to rejoin in time. I know Nardo does like to do relatively quick formation laps, but you can completely throw out of the window what I was saying about there not being much split of strategy in the sprint race, because we have a 50-50 split of strategy in the sprint race between soft and medium tyre runners. Our pole sitter Nardo is going to start on the soft tyres. Behind him though, Bimpo, Elias, Binmeister and Blazer all on mediums. Nardo is going to be running on softs. Then Mr. Bust and AJ on mediums as well. Perhaps will be on soft tyres, so opposite in his teammate. Unitas on mediums, Balta going for the softs, Julio going for the mediums, then Dan, Zuxon and Leland, all also on soft tyres. Then down to the bottom of the grid, Trimmershave, Phil, Tim Blish and Slinks, all on mediums as well. So this is going to be a very entertaining race once it does get underway here.
Also, I believe that the drivers that qualified on mediums are starting on soft, and the drivers that qualified on softs are starting on mediums. So
that would make sense.
Yeah, Nardo definitely used mediums in his quali, so that would explain why he's going for soft in sprint race. But if someone qualified, for example, on medium in quali, in this sprint quali, and now starts on. Sorry, I had a bit of a cold, had to disconnect. And now starts on medium again, then I don't think that really makes any sense. But alright, I'll shut up.
Alright, well, with all of the strategy in mind, we can look ahead to the 3, 4 and 5 red lights for the sprint race in Monza. And we've got a drive-through for Bimpo already. The lights are out. Bimpo's already gone. Now the rest of the field goes. Nardo's going to have a nice, easy start heading towards the first corner since Bimpo has left the field way too early. What about behind him, though? You can see one of the Alpines moving around there. Is everyone going to make it through cleanly? No, they are not. There's contact right up at the front of the field. But everybody is still facing in the right direction as they all check up through the first couple of corners. You can see it was, I believe, the Haas of Blazer and Binmeister making contact there. They're now 3 wide as they head through the Curva Grande up towards the Della Roccia chicane. Blazer is just about going to get ahead of the Haas. Sorry, that was Blazer in the Haas, getting passed by Binmeister, heading into the chicane, and now somebody off in the background, I think that was that Tim Bleich, or Julio, I think it was, at the back of the field, going off into the gravel momentarily, but back up at the front of the order, Nardo will effectively lead the way, obviously Bimpo at the front of the field, but he's got a drive-through penalty to serve after basically pulling a slinks from Austria. Nardo does lead the way, though, ahead of now Elias, who's been given a free pass into second, Binmeister net third, Blazer net fourth, Balter with an incredible start to go from 12th up to 6th, which is obviously net 5th. He's only reserving for Williams here today, but doing a fantastic job so far nonetheless. AJ behind him is going to be in 7th. Now here comes a move from the second Ferrari of the Haas. Up the inside of Dan into Parabolica. We've seen plenty of moves like that happening in some of the feeder series and the real-life race last week. But yeah, into the pits comes Bimpo to serve his drive-through penalty, so that's why everybody's changing places. But perhaps is still trying to change places on the track. He already passed Dan. Now he's going to try and pass Zoxen heading into the first corner. And Mercedes is still alongside him. It's going to get oh so close through the first chicane, but that is perhaps now ahead and up into P9.
Finished man on fire, and also Bolta up to 4th. How did that happen from 12th to 4th?
I have no idea. He's side by side.
Good start.
And making the move on the track to get ahead of Blazer, showing the entire field how it's done with a just ridiculous race start. 8 places gained for the Williams driver. He was obviously full-time earlier in the season, took some time off, and now he's come back clearly quite rejuvenated and ready for a scrap, and a scrap is exactly what Blazer's going to give him. Meanwhile, you can see at the front of the shot, we'll have to keep an eye on our leading pair, but into Ascari, Blazer is going to try to find any way through, but Balta defends the inside, and yeah, Sol doing a fantastic job so far. Meanwhile, behind him, Mr. Bust is going to see if he can make any moves, and now we've got DRS enabled, and that is why everybody is so close. This is when the moves are going to start to happen. It is, like I suggested, only a 6-lap race, so things are going to happen very, very quickly here as we head on to now lap 3 of 6 already, and up at the front of the field, we've had a change of places. Elias will take the lead, but behind them, we've got 3 wide moments happening here. Balta's getting swamped by everyone, and the Nan passing him into the first corner. It's going to be the Haas of Blazer who stays ahead. Saul goes late on the brakes to try and get back past and see if he can repass AJ. Not able to do it though, and somehow everybody keeps it relatively clean.
Insane battle, insane battle. That straight would explain why Balta had such a great start. He was probably on like really high wings. He got a really great.
Contact.
Really great. Oh yeah, contact. I don't know who between.
I think the Soul's got damage.
Yeah, Soul's front wing is very heavily damaged.
Yeah,
I think his,
you can see the end plate's
yeah,
gone.
left side is it's completely gone. We can see Unatos overtaking Soul. It went from great. Actually, no, it went from insanely good to great. It's still a great position for him. If he can defend it.
Well, that's the problem though. With that damage, it is going to be very, very hard for the Williams driver to defend now. Heading up towards Parabolica, he's going to have massive understeer around the medium speed corners here, so we'll see what he can do, but unfortunately things have just started to unravel. It is worth mentioning that the damage rate has been increased for this race, and that will be part of why that has happened for Sol. Meanwhile, Nade making a mistake further down the order. He was already a little bit out of position, and another mistake, a spin at Parabolica, has dropped him right down the order. Meanwhile, perhaps is able to get back ahead of, or to get ahead of Sol. Meanwhile, 3 wide into the first corner once again. Further down the order, Trimmershave makes a double overtake. Dan is getting all slidey up ahead of them, and Phil still trying to find his way through the field. He's up to P13, but as things stand, he's still not going to be anywhere near the points, whilst his teammate is very much within the points and making a move to get past AJ up into P5.
Oh. Finnish man is on fire. I think he also started in the second half of the grid. what was that? 14th place or something? I'm not really sure, but still a
Uh,
great start
yeah,
altogether.
we can pull up the position change here. So yeah, it's
Oh, I made
perhaps
a
is
mistake. Sorry.
yeah, perhaps is only up one place. Meanwhile, there is a change of places happening. Zuxon getting ahead of Bolter now as he still continues to struggle with that wing damage. Meanwhile, they're side by side through Ascari behind them. We can find out what happened at the end of that battle. Seems like Dan has been able to, well, no, he's been able to lose the position to Phil. Now he might just lose a position to Lelin, who's trying to make the move going into Parabolica here, and up the inside goes Dan. He is not letting that happen. Meanwhile, further back up the field, Unitas was passed momentarily, and he may be passed again here. It's impossible to keep up with everything going on. He's certainly going to be passed again as sailing by goes AJ, about to make maybe even 3 moves as he heads into the first chicane. It's going to be close. There's a bit of contact between him and Mr. Bust. He dropped right down the order. Now he's trying to get back up the order, see if he can't reclaim that P5, but it's going to be a little bit too much of a tall order for him right now. Heading towards the next chicane, though, he might fancy another chance. Meanwhile, Tim Bleish has made another one of his traditional mistakes. Up the inside goes Unitas, trying to see if he can find a place of his own. Going to get a massive snap of oversteer on the exit. Perhaps he's going to have a look to the inside. Unitas has got damage. Now perhaps might have some damage as those two make contact as well. This is getting very frosty between all of these guys. But still, everybody aside from Tim is facing in the right direction as things stand.
Oh, you said that drivers are going to throw their sinks at each other. I think they are throwing entire bathrooms at each other. They are going for it. Everyone.
It is
Everyone is
beautiful to
absolutely
watch.
sending it.
Yeah, it's beautiful to
Yeah.
watch, if not a little bit heart attack inducing. Yeah, so we'll see what happens here. Up at the front of the field, meanwhile, I'll give a brief mention to it. Elias has completely waltzed away from Nardo at the front of the field. He has clearly found the better strategy on the mediums rather than the softs, so Elias seems like he's going to be set to take the win of the sprint race, failing a mistake on the final lap. Nardo also has a penalty, so Binmeister might just be able to beat him to second. Meanwhile, here we go, final lap as I say, and there's going to be contact between Unitas and Mr. Bust heading into turn 1. Somehow the Aston driver keeps it all under control and doesn't go careering into the back of the Red Bull, but everything getting very close for comfort here through the first chicane, and further behind in the first chicane, things have gotten a little bit too close because Trimmershave is off in no man's land. He's in the runoff at the first corner. He's going to drop right down to P18 now. Big shame for him, but here we go into the Della Roggia chicane. Perhaps is able to make the move on Mr. Zuxon, get himself up into the final points paying position in P8, as yeah, it is well and truly all kicking off up at the front of the field, and well, everywhere in the field for that matter.
Yeah, and also I think Nardo might have some damage because he's losing a lot of time. And also he has a penalty.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. It does look like Nardo is going to lose that position to Binmeister. The gap is floating around the 3-second mark, so certainly going to be close, heading towards the line. But yeah, following these guys first, we're going to see if Mr. Bust can fend off from AJ heading into the final corner. Elias will take the win of the sprint race, but here's where the fight is really at. Mr. Bust side by side and using the inside line to hold on from the Red Bull driver as they head up towards the checkered flag. Mr. Bust will just about take P5 ahead of AJ in 6th, Unitas 7th, perhaps 8th. Everybody spills over the line, and yeah, it was Binmeister getting the position ahead of Nardo because of that 3-second penalty by 1/10 of a second. And breathe.
Oh man, that was a crazy sprint race. Everyone was like throwing everything they had.
Yeah, that was chaotic would be an understatement, I think, but that is then again pretty much exactly what we were expecting. So yeah, that is your taste of what's to come. I think things will be hopefully a little bit calmer in the feature race once we do get onto that. But yeah, if there are any frustrations and rivalries coming out of the back of this race, then you can be sure that those will absolutely continue into the qualifying and Grand Prix coming up after this, which is not going to be helped by the changeable conditions that we're expecting to see. So we'll see how things go. There's going to be a different complexion for the next 2 sessions for sure, but yeah, in this one it's Elias doing what he does best, taking the win from 3rd on the grid this time with a little bit of help from Bimpo's jumpstart. He's going to be very disappointed with that, I'm sure, but obviously we'll have a chance immediately to bounce back from it in this next qualifying session, the Grand Prix qualifying session, which we will get underway right about now.
Yeah, that was really not that many crashes in that sprint race, which is, well, very good to see. It's really great to see that drivers are learning from their past mistakes and that they're not colliding with each other.
Well, I
Yeah,
think there
really.
was I think there was plenty of contact, but it was generally a bit of it was more Rubbins racing than anything else. People were getting physical, but not necessarily violating the rules. So that's some sort of positive. It was definitely a bit scrappy though, so I'm not gonna give a full analysis on that. As usual, we'll leave that up to the stewards to decide if anything was beyond the regulations. But yeah, it was, like you say, most of the drivers were able to keep things on the track and avoid any kind of contact. And what you're going to see now is drivers rushing out of the pits because the rain has only just started. The session started in dry conditions, so the sooner that you get out, well, we're not going to get any kind of break in the action here. Look at Blazer go. He's just going to completely straight line the first chicane because he wants to be the first one to set a lap in these rapidly dampening conditions. Now is your only chance of the session to get out on dry tyres, so you've got to get out whilst you still can. I don't know if that's entirely legal from Blazer, but plenty of the field seem to be doing it, so again, I will leave all of that to the stewards to make any kind of verdict on. But yeah, the hectic nature of the sprint session seems like it's going to follow over straight into the qualifying session here.
Yeah, two drivers stayed in the pits, so three drivers stayed in the pits, including Nardo, which is quite interesting.
That is interesting, yeah. The other two being, of course, Binmeister and Slinks, who are far from slouches themselves. Slinks, though, I believe has had a big issue with his steering wheel, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to, well, really take any further part in this session. So, yeah, unfortunate for him, but we'll see how things go here. But obviously, Blazer is going to be the first driver to get a competitive lap in. You can see, much more so from onboard, the rain is very much coming down at this point in the session, and it's only going to get heavier from here on out. So, looks like it's going to be all action for the first few minutes of qualifying, and then probably absolutely nothing happening for the next 12 once everybody does get the lap times in. So, we'll see how it goes. You can see them all streaking across the start-finish line on the minimap. And we will follow on with Blazer, who's going to have the best of the conditions. He was purple in the first sector, of course, he's the first driver to set a time, but already going a little bit deep into the second chicane and showing signs of losing a bit of grip in these slippery conditions. So you do have to be careful here, but the further around the track you are, the better conditions you will have. So we'll see if the Haas driver can make the most of it. Of course, objective number one is just going to be keep the car on track. Seems to be doing that pretty well so far, and yeah, we'll see what kind of banker time he can set, and we'll see if anyone's able to come close to it.
That is a golden opportunity for Blazer to get a pole position for the main race.
Absolutely.
If he can if he can benefit from mostly dry track. It's definitely damp right now, but
yeah, you can see him sliding.
Yeah. It's still not that wet. I think it's not wet enough for inters, but it's still good. It's still good for dries.
Yeah, well, here we go. We've got the times coming in now. The first time from Blazer was only a 1:21, so a lot slower than anything we've seen before, but Bimpo is going to go provisionally quickest, 1:20.8. Can anyone get close to it? Elias is about to cross the line now. He can only go second as crashing over the line goes Dan. I don't even know how on earth he's managed to do that. He's going to be starting right at the back of the field. Clearly made a mistake on his lap. All of the times are going to be flooding in right now. Nade's able to go fourth quickest, AJ fifth, Unitas sixth, and the conditions will just be worse and worse for every driver, as every driver also seems to want to ignore the first chicane for reasons beknownst only to them. I have no idea why they're doing that. Nardo has invalidated his one and only real lap time in qualifying here, so he was going to struggle already because of the worsening conditions. He might not even get a lap in at all, and potentially one of the quickest drivers, if not the quickest drivers, could be starting from right at the back of the field here. You can see he's all over the back of the Mercedes driver of, I believe that'll be Mr. Zoxon. Let me see. No, that would be Shadow, in fact. So, yeah, Shadow is currently, he's got a lap time in, so he's going to be P10. But Nardo, he's going to have to go again, as the rain is now falling very heavily here. Those dry tyres are barely going to be even working by the time he gets to the checkered flag on this lap.
Yeah, he messed up real bad. I think he's gonna have a last to first challenge on his hands.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Race. Uh, it's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame, really. Possible contender for the victory, of course, today. Um, will most likely start in the back of the field. I mean, maybe he could pull a Charles Leclerc Brussels 2018 moment, but I don't think that's possible with the amount of rain on the track at the moment.
We'll see what he can do, and he's
Well,
going to keep on pushing as he heads towards the end of the second sector. I'll try to pull up the telemetry in the top right, grabbing the curb through Ascari there, and just about keeping control of the car. If he could set a lap time, that would be better than nothing at least, but yeah, he's also going to be joined towards the back of the order by Mr. Bust, who was not able to set a competitive time. He sets the slowest time of a 1:24, so does not bode well for Nardo. You can see him really struggling for grip here. Going to keep it tight to the inside on the exit of Parabolica, so let's see what he can do. He's going to bail for the pits, so, well, in his view, no time is actually better than setting a time for whatever reason, I don't know, but he's going to be starting 17th on the grid.
yeah, very big shame obviously for him, and obviously for us, because that means we have one less contender for the ultimate prize, which is victory. But yeah, this qualifying session is most likely over right now, because I don't think anyone...
Yeah, it's certainly over for this man here, Mr. Bust. You could see taking the rallycross line through Ascari chicane. He's going to do some burnouts for us as the only driver on the track, and destroy his car in ways that, well, I don't know, whatever he's going to come up with. Clearly, not best pleased about how his qualifying has gone, down in P16. So, yeah, it doesn't really give him the right to just go and cause crashes on purpose, even if he is, well, he wasn't the only car on track. His teammate's going to join him on the opposite side of the circuit. But, yeah, again, I will leave all kinds of judgments like that up to the stewards, as Mr. Bust will hopefully make his way eventually back into the pits. And, yeah, from now till the end of the session, it's just going to be a case of, would anyone like to get some practice on the intermediate tyres?
Yeah, basically. I think Mr. Bust wants to entertain us with his left-right movement and some drifting and donuts.
Yeah, well, he'll have to be a bit more careful now because there is a car leaving the pits, or quite a few cars leaving the pits right behind him. Like I say, it is not entirely useless to go back out because we are expecting rain in the race later on, so it is certainly worth doing a little bit of practice here. The setup compromise that you were talking about will obviously be a even bigger factor in these conditions. Yeah, so if Mr. Bust could drive like a normal human being, I'm sure that would be greatly appreciated by the Williams, who is fast approaching him. And that would be Bolter making his way past. DRS is now finally disabled, and that all but confirms that nobody is going to be making any further gains in the session. So yeah, from now to the end, it's just going to be a free practice session here.
Yes, that's true. But I'm surprised that the DRS was... I'm surprised that the DRS was disabled so late. So late in the rain, because like it's proper wet, and it... Oh yeah. Here,
there goes Mr. Bust.
I mean, we saw that coming.
Yeah,
probably.
He's well, done everyone a favour by at least finally getting off the track. Once his AI is cleared, there it is. We can now continue with what is, like we say, just going to be a practice session. You can see Giulio is actually on the dry tyres. I'll pull back up the tyre graphics. So, yeah, he's the only driver out on track who is on the dry tyres at the moment, I believe. No, Binmeister is also on the dries as well, for one reason or another. He's certainly not going to improve on his time, but yeah, he's just going around maybe to test out the crossover conditions and see how long he thinks he might be able to last in those scenarios. So it's all, any data is valuable data for these guys, but yeah, from now on, going to be a, like we say, non-competitive session, and we'll just see what everyone can do on the intermediate tyres.
Maybe drivers see something that we cannot see. Maybe the rain is gonna stop at the end of the qualifying session. That's also a possibility. Although
it's possible.
It's very unlikely.
Yeah, it's possible. The forecast does not suggest it. So, like I say, can never be too sure with EA and Codemasters. But yeah, as far as we know, we're expecting it to be continued rain for the end of this session, then back to dry at the start of the race, and then it's going to well, the rain is going to set back in towards the end of the Grand Prix. So we'll see how exactly that plays out. But yeah, we are expecting just more of the same here for the remainder of the qualifying session, as more and more drivers are starting to venture out onto the track. Still got 8 minutes left to go, so we'll ride on board with Perhaps here as he takes a tour of the circuit in his Ferrari. Obviously, home track for the team. A P8 qualifying result is reasonably solid for him. I'm sure he'll be somewhat happy with that and gives him plenty of chance to try and make up places once we do get into the race. Meanwhile, his teammate, obviously, P2 for any of us would be pretty solid, but I think Elias might be a little bit disappointed to go through both qualifying sessions here without taking any pole position. But yeah, we'll see how things go for him. Hang on, I have... Somebody is messaging me in the league chat. Let me see what everyone says. Okay, that would be Aero sending a message about the dry tyres in wet conditions. So yeah, we'll see if Binmeister might catch some flack for that. He has come straight back into the pits to put on Inters, so hopefully he should be in the clear. But yeah, as we were saying, Elias might be a little bit disappointed to only end up second. Meanwhile, Bimpo is, yeah, he's immediately bounced back from the jump start in in the sprint race, and is going to be looking in a very good shape for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, although that's technically that's still improvement for Elias. He started third in the sprint race, so an improvement, but probably a little bit less of an improvement than he would have wanted.
Yeah. But yeah, he's gonna have to live with it. I mean, it didn't seem to hinder him particularly much in the sprint race. Started third and quite comfortably ended up winning in the end. So we'll see what he and his team strategist Aero have got cooking up. I don't think it's going to be too hard to call the strategy in the race, because obviously the mandatory pit stop will be made from, onto a set of intermediates for everyone. It's just a case of when do you think the rain is going to start to fall, because that will decide, obviously, what tyres everyone starts the race on. If you go for softs, then you're going to be hoping it comes quite early, because if it doesn't, then you might end up having to make 2 stops in the race, which could be, disastrous if anyone does decide to risk it. But obviously, if it does work, there's plenty of upside. You can make up a lot of places at the start. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see once we do get to the Grand Prix. But yeah, until then, we'll just see if we can try and get a read on how the cars and drivers are shaping up in these tricky conditions.
Yeah. I'm also wondering if anyone would dare to start on hard tires or something like that. Or
possible
the opposite. If someone would want to do soft on the start and make a pit stop before swapping to inters or wets. There's a lot of strategy options, possible strategy options for the scenario that we're gonna have in the race.
Yeah, I mean, like we say, it's like we don't know when the rain is going to fall. We know it will at some point, but that could mean that it starts falling on lap 2 or lap 3, or it could mean, as we've seen happen in previous LRC races, that it starts happening right at the end of the race. I'm thinking back to Brazil in Season 6. We saw the rain was supposed to come somewhere in the middle of the race, and it only started to fall with about 3 laps left to go. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see here. Obviously, it's worth mentioning that the Grand Prix feature race here, whatever you want to call it, is going to be a little bit shorter than a regular feature race or Grand Prix, because obviously that is how the sprint format works. So yeah, it shouldn't be as difficult of a decision. I don't think anybody is going to need to make the 2-stop, but if the rain does fall very late and anyone does try the softs, then it's yeah, certainly possible that drama could be waiting in the wings here once we get underway, and that's if the on-track drama isn't enough to do that for us.
Yeah. Really interesting quali and really interesting sprint race. Yeah, this quali obviously is less exciting than the sprint quali, but still pretty enjoyable weekend so far.
Yeah, well, we can
or evening.
Yeah. We can take the opportunity then for these final few minutes to just give a full rundown of the qualifying order. So yeah, obviously Bimpo and Elias will share the front row. then yeah, Blazer with a very solid qualifying as per usual, as we come to expect from him. Going to be sharing his second row of the grid with Nade, who makes it a P6 and a P4. And yeah, another good quality session from him. We'll see if he can keep things a bit cleaner in the actual Grand Prix than he was able to in the feature. Not entirely sure what happened to him, but some kind of mistakes took him out of contention, so we'll see if he's able to avoid that this time around. And then AJ and Unitas, both drivers who have been in a little bit of a rut of form recently compared to their raw pace, both getting some good qualifyings in, and much needed results for both of those drivers, so going to be entertaining to see what they can do. Obviously AJ we already saw, fighting against Mr. Bust in the sprint race and showing some good pace, so see if he can transfer that over along with Unitas. And then, yeah, Phil, now that he can actually, set a time in qualifying, he is going to be starting from P7, with perhaps in 8th. And then the two Mercedes, for the first time this season, and probably for the last time this season, are actually going to share a row of the grid on row 5, and Mr. Zuxon out-qualifies his teammate for the first time this year to get ahead of Binmeister. So, yeah, plenty of storylines to follow here, and we are now only a few moments away from getting the Grand Prix session started.
Yeah. Obviously, it is good. You guys, I lost the track of what I was saying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
it's been a long time since I since. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
Sorry?
Yeah, you can say what you're saying. It's okay.
I apologize for my rusty commentating, but it's been a long time since I did that, and yeah, sorry if anything is below your expectations. You know, from me.
That's fine. There's no need to apologise. We have currently the Williams doing some formation flying. That was obviously
Yeah.
Sol and Bolter getting a little bit too close for comfort. Both of these guys are just reserves, so yeah, they shouldn't really. Oh, sorry, no, Leland is full time. My apologies, but Sol is just a reserve, so he's obviously not got too much to lose here. These guys are just having fun for the final minute or so of the session. And yeah, I do have word that after the session ends, we are going to be, after the session ends, we're going to be restarting and switching to a different lobby. So we will go on a bit of a break after this before getting underway with the race.
I believe it's because of the race length, like the limitations of the, yeah.
Actually, okay, well, no, I'm seeing different news in from Aero, which is indicating that apparently somebody, I don't know who exactly, although I can certainly take a guess, somebody has been was supposed to be receiving a season ban, but has decided to show up to the session anyway. So I'm not going to name names until that is confirmed for me, but yeah, that is the reason that we're going to restart the lobby, and I suppose once we do restart, we can confirm exactly who that will be, as we have a 3-wide photo finish to qualifying to cap off what was quite a dull session for the last 12 minutes, but very hectic at the start.
Yeah, that guy, that's the problem, is in the bottom half of the grid. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I
at
can.
This moment.
I can expect exactly that. So we will switch to the intermission as we have done. We will leave the lobby, join a new lobby, and once we're back, probably in about 5 minutes time or so, maybe 10 if things take a while, then we will be back with the Grand Prix, and certainly, if everything so far is anything to go by, one that you will not want to miss. So we'll be back in just a few moments time. We'll see you then.
See you.
Alright, welcome back everybody. We are back here once again after a short and unexpected break. We are back and ready, and I need to mute the stream. Infinite genius, sorry about that guys. Okay, there we go. We are ready to get things underway with the Grand Prix race. We can confirm that whilst we were in the break, we have had a very unusual scenario that is a mid-session season ban being applied to one Mr. Bust, who has promptly been removed from the league after the antics of qualifying and, well, also in the league chat as well. So, yeah, not something you like to see, but thankfully it does mean for the rest of these guys who are still here, one less car to worry about once we do get underway with this race, though I don't think that's going to stop it from being as chaotic as it's probably about to be.
According to stewards, Mr. Bust violated multiple rules. We have no further explanation for now, but I'm sure stewards will elaborate on that later after the race.
Yeah, I mean, sounds about right, to be fair. It definitely seemed like a violation of something. I was thinking maybe more Geneva Convention, but either way.
Yeah,
he's he's out of the session now. If I can finally get things set up right. There we go. 17th time's the charm. We are, just waiting for these drivers. Thankfully, nobody has readied up on the grid this time, so everyone can get their setups on and get themselves prepared for what is going to be, like we say, a very entertaining and likely quite chaotic race, starting on the dry tyres and then moving onto the wets as the race progresses, or most likely the inters. So here we go, formation lap is going to get underway now, and I'm going to have to very quickly turn on the necessary telemetry. Full track map is already enabled, we don't need the lap data for the race, so we're looking good to have a look at the tyre strategy. And we have, well, one of them was quite predictable, but we do have two rogue strategists, which is going to be Mr. Zuxton and Tim Bleich, both opting for the soft tyres, obviously. Tim, that is no surprise whatsoever, he's also been disqualified along with Leland immediately, so those guys are going to have some ice-cold tyres into the first corner. But yeah, perhaps a little bit more surprisingly, Mr. Zuxton, the only shall we say, slightly more competitive driver in the field, who is going to be starting on the softs. So mixed up grid order from the qualifying session, and yeah, a lot of entertaining stuff coming up ahead of us, even if everybody is going to be on the medium tyres predominantly.
Yes. That's very interesting strategy choice by Mr. Zuxton. Maybe he's going to try something like two-stopper, like stopping for another set of softs before the rain comes, and then going for inters when the rain comes eventually. I don't know, it's really interesting choice, and we will see how he's gonna do.
We sure will. So yeah, Bimpo's leading everybody around on the formation lap. This is his first pole since Season 6. I would not know, unfortunately, off the top of my head which race in Season 6, but yeah, after only returning this time in Australia, he's, yeah, certainly doing a very solid job. Going to take us away from pole. Hopefully he's not going to jump the start, and then we can enjoy, hopefully, a nice battle between him and Elias for the win, whilst Nardo, a McLaren driver, is going to try to come from the back of the field and go up to the front of the field, much like Gabriel Bortoletto did in F2 as another fellow McLaren driver, a few weeks or only a week ago. So we'll see if he can take some inspiration from the Brazilian and try to win his home race. But look at this, as they're pulling up to the grid, the rain is already starting to fall on the chassis, so Mr. Zuxton and Tim Bleich might just find themselves in luck as we get ready to start the race here at Monza. It seems like everybody's in the grid now. We wait for the lights to start to come on. Here we go, we've got 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights. And we are go for the Italian Grand Prix, and this time Bimpo doesn't jump the start, he gets a great start, and it's going to lead ahead of Elias, who's trying to defend from Blazer. He's going to stay ahead of the Haas as they come to the first corner. This is where things can start to check up. You can see one of the V-carbs going up the inside, having to take evasive action, but it seems like there's a little bit less contact than there was last time, as, yeah, everybody seems to make it through. Tim Bleich drops a little bit at the back of the field along with Leland. Further up the order, Young Sav, or AJ, is going to make a move on Elias, who gets past him. Blazer's also gotten past the Ferrari. Now Narde's going to fancy a chance around the outside into the Della Roggia chicane. The McLaren driver is going to run out wide though. Unitas is going to take the chance to come past him on the outside. He's going to have to try and defend two drivers into the first of the Lesmos here. Round the outside goes Dan, making the move on Perhaps to get himself into P7, whilst Perhaps holds his position from the start of the race, along with Bimpo, who leads at the front of the field.
Oh man, that took some balls, that dive bomb from Dan. I think he made like 4 positions in turn 1. That was crazy, man. Bad start by Elias, very bad start by Nate. But oh man, that was pretty nice and clean first lap, which is always great to see.
Yeah, indeed it was. So yeah, like you say, Nade and Elias both having a pretty difficult first lap, both of them losing 2 places on their grid slots. So we'll see what they're able to do. AJ also had a great start going from 5th up to 3rd, and yeah, showing yet more great pace in this race, but the first of the overtakes seems like it's going to come from Binmeister here, setting the move up on Dan. As you can see, the rain is still starting to fall, but it's seemingly taking a while to really settle at the moment. Meanwhile, there's a bit of contact as we go 3 wide, leaving the first chicane. Bolter's trying to get involved in this battle, so is Nardo, who's up to P10. There's contact between him and Sol now, as they all get way too close for comfort coming through the Curva Grande. Sol has to take up to, take to the gravel for a moment. Now up the inside goes Nardo, to somehow make the move on Dan after all of the chaos. He's got himself from last up to 9th already. He didn't even need the soft tyres to do it, and he is now showing great signs of making a strong recovery drive in this race, despite coming just moments away from disaster.
Sol was sideways for a while there. I don't know how the hell he didn't crash into anyone else. Yeah, really lucky by Sol. Also, great job from Nardo. Nardo making a great start. Plan minimum, I think, already achieved, getting into points. But now it's really the crucial stage of the race, because that's soon. Soon is gonna be the point of swapping the tires for intermediate.
Indeed it is, and here we go. The Red Bull drivers are trying to help each other out here. Of course, we've got them running 1 and 3 at the moment. AJ is going to try to do the best job he can to help Bimpo out in his course for the win of the race, even if Bimpo's only reserve. Is he going to put up much of a fight on Elias, who's trying to look to the inside, see if he can make up some places? He'll hop the curb. They get very close together, but they avoid contact as they come off the corner. They're still side by side, but Elias is going to have the better traction out of turn 2, and following him up the inside is going to be Unitas. AJ tried to close the door, but had to back out of the throttle for a second. Unitas might even set up a move on the Ferrari as they head towards the Lrc chicane, but he's going to have to settle in behind and into P4. But some nice tidy moves coming in there from the championship leader.
Phenomenal start from Unitas. I don't think anyone expected that kind of start. As we see V-Carp and Sauber. Oh, that might be 3 wide into first Lesmo. No, it's not 3 wide.
Oh, that was close. There might have been contact. There was contact, and it turned into the inside wall. It was he was side by side with Dan in the V-Carb, and now Julio in the second of the V-Carbs is going to go crashing out of the race. And believe it or not, we've got ourselves a safety car out and deployed here on lap 3. Everybody's got to slow down and hopefully avoid checking up into the back of each other, which they seem to have all done. But chaos has broken out there, as we were pretty much expecting. And yeah, Phil drops down to P16. He's got damage, but he does have chance now to fix his wing.
Everyone's gonna box for intermediate,
well,
I believe.
But Elias is going to stay out. Elias is going to stay out. And quite a few drivers are going to join him. This is a tricky call for all of these guys. Obviously, the rain is falling on the track, but it's not heavy enough for Inters just yet. So you've got to play a gamble either way. There's no right answer in this scenario as things stand. And that's why we've got almost a 50-50 split. 7 drivers have come into the pits. 9 of them have stayed out. So this is going to be seriously interesting now. I'm assuming everybody's going to be going onto the Inters that has come into the pits. So yes, Bimpo on the Inters, Blazer on the Inters. Let's just make sure, because you can never be too sure in LRC. Hold on, I'll turn on the tyres to double check. Phil has gone on to soft. I have to assume that's a mistake. That must have been a mistake for him. He had to come down the pit road anyway, so yeah, he'll get a chance to come back in again. He won't lose any places since he was already less, but yeah, not ideal for the Aston Martin driver, and certainly the incident is not going to be helping his race at all. Yeah,
I personally believe that staying out is a pretty terrible strategy, considering the rain is actively dropping down onto the track. And if, for example, Elias pits now, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose the position, all the positions he gained.
He's gonna lose plenty of positions. Any of these guys will drop right down the order. I mean, pretty much all 6 of the cars that have pit would surge up to the front of the field here, as the rain, like you say, rightly point out, is starting to fall. Well, I mean, it's been falling since the start of the race, and it's only going to get heavier, really, so This is such a tricky one to call for these guys. It may even be a case of whether or not you have experience on this game in these conditions to know whether or not the rain is likely to intensify quickly or to just stay at this very light level. It's honestly quite like the the race that we saw in the MotoGP earlier today. If anyone also watched that, that was another Italian race, and yeah, we had sort of phantom rain for a lot of the race where it was raining, but nobody was able to actually go onto the wet tyres. So it's really tough for these guys to call here. A lot of them have decided to stay out. Let's see if Phil decides to stay out. He does, so that wasn't a mistake for him. He actually wants to be on the soft tyres as things stand.
Interesting choice. By the way, just saying, but if everyone that's on slicks pits, Tim Bleish is gonna be P5. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting if that does happen. But yeah, the things are very hard to call at this point. Obviously, only the drivers really know how much grip there is, but even they aren't going to be exactly sure because they're driving around. Trundling around at basically half speed or even less here, so it's going to be hard to get a feel of the car and get a feel of the grip levels. Julio, our debutant, unfortunately leaves the session after the accident. It's a big shame for him. But he will get chance, of course, to come back next week and try to do a little bit better. But he was, like I said, just a reserve anyway, so it's not going to be too much skin off his neck. But yeah, for these guys, I don't really know what position they're in at this point, because it's impossible to say what the right decision is. Interesting to note, Nardo, who was, a driver who you might have expected to take a risk, he also decided to stay out. Safety car is going to be in this lap. It's time to find out who has made the right decision here.
The rain is intensifying. I personally think the guys that pitted for the Inters made the right call, but we never know. We never know. Maybe the engineers on the radio suggest to the drivers that the rain's gonna stop or something like that. We really have no idea of knowing. We really have no way of knowing that. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be an interesting strategy battle between the teams and the drivers.
Certainly is. So here we go. Coming through Parabolica now, it's up to this man here that we ride on board with. When will Elias put down the power to get the race back underway? And how much grip is he going to have? Is he going to spin the tyres? Is he going to come straight for the pits? He's going to move around a little bit, but now he puts the power down, gets a great restart ahead of AJ behind him, and we are back underway with green flag racing here in Monza. You can ignore the safety car graphic in the top left. That should go away eventually, because we do have racing right now. And here comes AJ into the first corner, making the move. Didn't even need the first corner. Got it done on the brakes, heading into turn one as everybody makes their way through. Can they make it through cleanly? No, they can't. There's contact, and Round almost goes Zuxon. Round actually does go Lelin at the back of the field. He's one of the dry tyre runners. He's going to get spun round there in the melee, and Blazer side by side with Bimpo now. These guys are both on intermediate tyres, and let's see what they can do, because they're battling to be the front running intermediate driver, which could end up being net P1. Let's see what the grip is like. Look at the traction for Bimpo, heading towards the inside of Bolter now. Meanwhile, further up the order, it's side by side between Binmeister and Nade as Shadow gets himself up into second, making a good job of the situation here in the tricky conditions. Bimpo now finally gets himself past Bolter, heading through the second of the last most. Blazer's going to try to follow him through, and Blazer might try to get to the outside of the Red Bull, heading to Ascari, but he's going to decide sensibly to back out of that one. Bimpo's got himself a track limits penalty, the first of probably quite a few in this race, but that is not going to be good for him nonetheless, and it seems like the intermediates are the better tyre at this point, or at the very least, very close to being better, which means all of these guys on dries have made the wrong call, including our two favourites for the win, Elias and Nardo. So when are they going to come to the pits?
Slicks are absolutely not working right now, and as we can see, someone dives into the pits, possibly to change their tires to intermediate. But you can really see by the pace difference that Slicks
contact at the front of the field, and chaos going on here. Both McLarens involved, and it's a complete car park at the first chicane there, as everybody has nowhere to go. It was Nardo, I believe, sideways across the track. His teammate was helping him round there, but it was initially contact with it was one of the front-running drivers. It might have been Binmeister. It is all kicking off now in these tricky conditions as the drivers on dries are trying to hang on to, well, whatever grip they can find in those tyres, but that grip is rapidly vanishing. You can see Sol sliding through the corners. So is Nardo. He's got damage as well now, or his teammate certainly has damage. I don't know if Nardo does, but yeah,
He
it's
does too,
all
he
kicking
does
off
too.
now. Yeah, he does. Yeah, both of them have end plates missing, and McLaren, despite having such promising pace, are having a bit of a disaster here, and likewise, Tim Bleish is doing the same. Meanwhile, back up at the front of the field, Bimpo is now behind Blazer. Blazer in the Haas has gotten ahead, and that is net P1 in the race, going to the Haas driver as he sets his sights on making the move on Binmeister, whilst Elias has managed to break a gap, but is still going to have to pit for Inters in the very near future.
The slicks drivers, the drivers that are still out on slicks, are making it even worse for themselves. We can see how hard it is for the guys on the slicks to find any sort of grip on the track. As
And
we see,
Unitas is
Unitas
retired.
retired from the
Unitas has
system,
crashed on
and
the start-finish
safety
straight.
car.
Safety car
And
is back out.
that saves pretty much the slick runners from basically throwing away their race.
Wow. What a change of events. It is all non-stop action here in Monza. This is, well, yeah, I know we expected it, but this is, this is incredible scenes here. So yeah, you are absolutely right to point out, this is a lifeline for all of the guys who had decided to stay out initially. They are now, obviously, they're going to lose track position still, so it's not going to be a entirely saving grace for them, but they will, at the very least, be backed up to the rest of the cars up at the front of the field, so they won't lose too much time, but they have lost quite a lot of track position here. Elias is going to be taking the restart in P7 once we do get underway, despite being in the lead of the race, so all changing very quickly here. I have no clue what happened to Unitas. Crashed on the start-finish straight somewhere. You saw the stricken car, saw the debris, but yeah, for one reason or another, he is unfortunately out of the race, still not able to really get any kind of consistency going this season in that Alpine, despite his pace, and yeah, it's a big shame for him, unfortunately.
I think that might have been a game glitch, looking at this reaction on the league chat. But I'd like to also point out another another time that Nardo had a terrible luck. He was doing really great, coming back into the points, and it just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I mean,
when he collided with his teammates.
Yeah, you gotta, yeah, I can't forget that is exactly what happened. It feels like ages ago now with how much has happened since then. Zoxon is also into the pits, Trimmershave's into the pits, Dan's into the pits, because a lot of these guys, a lot of the field has damage from the incident earlier on with, well, with Nardo, like you say, so a lot of people are still being forced to pit again, either that or they just want fresher tyres, or maybe a mix of both, but either way, turns out that after all of this, Elias is going to make his way back right up towards the front of the field, and is only going to end up in P3, despite the strategy error on his part. So, yeah, it's constantly changing places. Alright, we are back after plenty of technical difficulties. Big thank you to everyone at Vodafone and Codemasters for playing a part in that. But as you can see, the safety car has finally ended, and we are back underway with racing. So let's see if we can try and recap everything that we've missed. Hopefully it wasn't too much because of the safety car. It seems like it may have only just been this lap that they got restarted, so thankfully, it doesn't seem like we missed too much. Elias has immediately gotten past Binmeister, so he's now up into second, and he's immediately going to be looking to challenge for the lead here on the inside of Blazer out of the final corner. Meanwhile, further back down the order, Phil Malone trying to recover already. He's up to 8th place, and Elias, you can see there, does not seem to have the straight line speed to match the Haas driver. He perhaps is running a little bit more downforce here, but he's going to use that downforce to go later on the brakes into the first corner, side by side with the American driver, but getting the move done on the outside no less, and Elias gets himself back up into the lead of the race despite all of the chaos that has ensued in the intervening time. Meanwhile, here go the two McLarens again. They've already made contact once, even though it wasn't particularly either of their faults, but they are almost making contact again, but now Nardo is able to make a move around the outside of Phil to get himself back into P8, and I'm sure he is going to only continue to press on from there.
That was a pretty bold move from Elias, especially considering that it's really raining hard now. The inside line, of course, is very, very wet, so that was really... It shows how great of a driver he is. As Binmeister just overtook Blazer, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Blazer seemed to have made a little bit of a mistake there somewhere at the start of the second sector, so perhaps running a bit lower downforce on that Haas and paying the price a bit for it in these conditions. Meanwhile, Bimpo, you can see here, another very quick driver trying to recover in this race, is going to make the move on Dan, not wasting any time to get himself back up into P5 as he heads into Parabolica now. He's not going to be clear of the V-Carb driver, but he's still going to, continue to move up the order, and is now going to close up to, or at least try to close up to the back of his teammate, who's going to try to dispatch a Blazer up ahead of him. But look at the straight line speed of that Haas. My theory is very much proven right. He's got almost no battery in the tank, but he's going to try to send it to the inside anyway. That move was never on whatsoever, and everyone's going to get checked up behind them as a result. You can see there's damage on the track there. It looks like from the Ferrari. Yep. I see a Claro logo, so the Red Bull's got damage. That's Bimpo has got front wing damage now. His front, both of his front end plates are missing, and perhaps might have damage. Everybody's getting out of shape. I've got no clue what's going on because of the lag here, and Nardo seems to have been put into the wall back across the track. I don't even know if this is even happening, but the safety car's out, so it certainly is. I have no idea what's just gone on there. It's infinite chaos. I don't know if the lag was playing a part for all the other drivers as well. But yeah, chaos has ensued, and it seems like now about half the field has got damage, even though nobody is actually out of the race.
Me neither, but I don't know either what is going on, but I think what happened is basically Blazer caused a chain reaction of crashes, and everyone just kind of got stuck up behind both of them. I mean, Blazer and Binmeister, and yeah, it just caused a lot of havoc to unfold. It's really a roller coaster race for Bimpo also. It went from great to bad, and then it went again to great, and now it's turning pretty messy again. As he's down to P7 with a penalty and broken wing.
Yeah, I'm going to try and find out from any of the drivers who might still be around if they actually were suffering from desync, if that played a part, but seems like you might just be right. It may have just been because of Blazer. Meanwhile, side by side into the pits, Bimpo perhaps, and Bimpo picks up a 10-second speeding penalty and decides promptly to retire from the race. So, yeah, day goes from great to bad to worse for him, and he is now going to call it quits. Like you say, he's only a reserve, so he's not really got anything to lose here, but yeah, still never like to see things go south as quickly as they have done for him, and yeah, 6 drivers now in the pits having to make repairs because of the chaos that just ensued at the first few corners, and like you say, we do have another safety car out. And that makes our third of the day, with only 5 laps left to go, so once we do get back going again, I can't exactly see it calming down anytime soon.
This race is turning really crazy. It just it started pretty peacefully, but then it just became very chaotic, to say the least. Yeah. Surprisingly, there is not a lot of drivers that retired. There's only 3 drivers that retired, which is...
Well, let's not jinx it.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Yeah. But it's still less than we expected it to be.
less than the worst predictions could have shown. But then again, there is still 5 laps left to go. So yeah, I don't want to make any kind of jinx like that. But yeah, like we mentioned earlier, the damage was turned up for this race because we were seeing that the damage seemed to be a little bit too forgiving. But yeah, turning it up has obviously had the effect that the safety car, Bernd Mailander, has finally had to cancel his summer holiday that had been lasting for the better part of 3 months, and is actually going to be piloting that safety car around the track for his 3rd time of the day, and hopefully his last. I'm not sure if it's even possible for him to come back out again, so we should be good to go from here until the checkered flag. And we can only hope that the driving standards are able to, yeah, comply with the regulations from here till the end of the race, and hopefully that my internet is also able to do the same thing, because I certainly do not want to miss the finish to this one, because it is going to be explosive, if nothing else.
Yes. Also, I'd like to point out that I think the safest driver of the day award, I think Bernd Mailander deserves that one. He did a wonderful job today. Not spinning, not crashing, and he didn't crash at Parabolica this time, so
honestly,
yeah, it's great. Life is great.
Probably the only driver not to have contact currently on the track, so he's doing a good job. Hopefully Elias doesn't decide to change that by driving into the back of him, but he's led enough safety cars to know not to do that at this point, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we'll see. I'm going to guess it'll be in at the end of this lap. I think we're going to get ourselves, what will that be? 4 more laps of competitive racing action, since all of the drivers are now bunched up to the back of the field. All of the incidents have been cleared up, and yeah, hopefully we can get ourselves back going once more, and with Nardo right back down to the back of the order in P14, so his lack of luck in the series still seems to continue, but he still has chance to try and score points in these final few laps of the race at his home Grand Prix. He's certainly not going to win from here, but we will see what the Italian can do.
He's definitely not satisfied with the outcome of this. I mean, the race didn't end yet, but for now, he definitely is not satisfied, considering considering the pace he had in qualifying and at the start of the race. It really breaks my heart that he's not able to fight for a better place. But all right, let's focus, because Elias is coming through the last corner, and when is he gonna restart? Is he gonna go early or is he gonna go late?
Coming up to the line, here he goes, and he'll put his foot down in around about the same place as he did last time, and once again it seems to be a reasonably good restart. Further behind him, everybody is getting very close together, so there's going to be a lot of action heading to the first corner. Binmeister's not going to be close enough to try any moves, but can everybody make it through cleanly? Final laps of the race, you can see a Sauber ducking out there in the back of the line. Everybody seems to have just about made it through. Trimmershev held onto that one nicely, and yeah, we're all still pointing in the right direction, heading towards turn 3. This is where it all unraveled this time, well, last time around, so we'll see if everybody's able to skate their way around the Curva Grande this time, and it seems like they're going to be able to. So yeah, perhaps has been able to make the move on Leland, heading into the braking zone. He will shore that place up, as there's a little bit of contact further behind between Nardo and Trimmershev. Nardo already up 2 places. He's going to try to make it 3 as he heads to the inside of Lesmo 1 here. On Trimmershev, he's going to make the move and make it stick nicely on the exit of the corner, and Phil is going to try to follow him through into Lesmo 2. Can't find any way through, but Trimmer runs wide, and that is going to give the position to not only Phil, but to Tim Bleich as well. Meanwhile, further up the field, back at the front, Elias gets a perfect restart, and he is still going to be leading from Shadow, who's now got AJ for company as they head through Ascari. And did somebody go off at the back there? Seems like everybody's still on the track. So yeah, and it's a bit of slide. Big slide for perhaps on the exit of the corner. He's going to drop down a few places now.
Yeah, I think he has front wing damage, perhaps, because I saw a black front wing. A black end plate flying somewhere. So I think that might have been a Ferrari, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would not be good for him if that is the case. So here we go. Lap 17 of 19. We've only got 3 more laps of the track here to decide the finishing order of this race. Is AJ going to try the move? He's going to be patient. No, that's just a glitch. We don't need to pay attention to that. The safety car is not out, don't worry. We're good. But yeah, we now have the two McLarens going side by side because Nardo has continued to make his way through the field. He's now, all of a sudden, he was 14th this time last lap. He's now running in 7th, trying to set up a move for 6th. Meanwhile, AJ has already set up his move and made it through into 2nd. Nardo gets through and gets into 6th place past Mr. Zuxen, and he is showing why he has got such fantastic pace and why he's probably going to be very disappointed with his finishing result, despite the fact that he is making an excellent recovery drive right now.
That is a great comeback. He might be looking at a podium finishing position at the end of the race.
If he does everything. Hold on. Yeah, this is speaking, so I don't know, but I think my audio may have just died. It should still be coming through on the stream fine. I will see if I can fix that at all, but I mean, honestly, there's not really a whole lot that I can do, so we'll try to make this work until the end here. But yeah, Ixie, if you want to take a moment to speak, then I'll let you do that and try and see once you stop talking via Discord.
Can you hear me now? Oh no, he can't hear me. I don't really have anything to say, to be honest. It's just crazy. It's just crazy looking at this race. I'm really heartbroken seeing Nardo with finishing 6th with such an amazing pace. It's really breaking my heart as we see Dan trying to go for the 3rd place as the V-Carb gets into the podium finishing position. Alright, I'm gonna let Coolest talk now.
And yeah, there we go. I think that should have worked. So back in the action, up at the front of the field, as we were just seeing, that was Dan side by side with Binmeister, and they're still side by side, making contact. Off the track goes the Mercedes of Binmeister through the 2nd chicane on the track. He's going to be, well, he's certainly not going to be pleased with that one, as he was basically just shoved out wide there by the V-Carb driver. He's going to drop now off of the podium as things stand, and with not very much time to try and get back on it, and also with both Blazer and Nardo all over the back of him. Nardo might be fancying a move on the Haas of Blazer, but he's not going to have the straight line speed because, as we've already seen, that Haas is basically just a rocket ship. Meanwhile, further behind, we've got Phil making the move on Mr. Zuxen to get himself back up into P7, making a very strong recovery drive of his own, but getting a little bit physical in the background with Nardo and Blazer. Those two are going to go side by side, heading down towards Barabolica as we're about to enter the final lap of the race. Nardo on the outside is going to try to hang it in there. Blazer's going to see if he's got the traction. He breaks traction for a moment, coming out of the final corner, and that is going to be enough for Nardo to get ahead. But with that straight line speed, Blazer is almost certainly going to try to fight it back, but they're both fighting against Binmeister, who's slow down the start-finish straight into the first corner. They're going to go, there's going to be contact again, and Binmeister gets put into a half spin. Both drivers go past. Binmeister holds onto the front end, but somehow he's still in the race, but he's going to drop down to P6. He is not going to be happy with that at all.
4 times to run, it's game on for Nardo to get a podium right now. It's still possible for him.
So here we go. Final lap of the race, final few corners, and we are still fighting for every last position because Nardo might just be able to get himself onto the podium yet. I still can't hear a word of what's going on or any kind of sound whatsoever, but I don't need to hear to see the excellence of this man's drive. He might just be able to stand on the podium at his home track on the final lap of the race, getting past Dan, and Blazer's going to try to follow him through. The American won't be able to see the podium, but he will be able to see P4 as he makes the move into Ascari. Beautiful stuff by him, and he might just have one more chance to try and make the move on the McLaren. Elias is going to be away and clear to replicate his hero, Charles Leclerc, and win in Monza, but can Blazer do anything? His exit wasn't enough out of Ascari to take it, so it's going to be Elias out of the final corner to win the Italian Grand Prix in Season 7. AJ is going to follow him home for an excellent podium, and Nardo, with the recovery drive of a lifetime, takes P3 from Blazer 4th, Dan in 5th, Mercedes lock out P6 and 7. Phil actually drops back behind his fellow countryman Zuxen. Bolter is going to come home P9, and Tim Bleich, of all drivers, will round out the top 10 after an incredible race. And finally, my sound is back, right on cue.
Yeah, it was a great race.
I still can't hear Exis. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Hello? I can hear you. Hey,
Hello?
We're back.
Oh, yeah.
Just at the wrong time.
Let me just remind you guys that Nardo was P14, so basically dead last.
Yeah.
15. That was insane comeback.
Absolutely stellar stuff by him. Clearly feeling the energy of the Tifosi there, and he was carried on in some speed and some style by that energy to take P3. 11 places gained in 4 laps. Fantastic stuff by him. And he will see himself stand on the podium. He won't be best pleased about which step of the podium it is, but he can still be very proud of that result. AJ will join him up there, and Elias does what he does best. Metronomic consistency, as always, deals with all of the challenges thrown at him, and he comes home to take victory here in Monza for Ferrari, as he has done on... Actually, I don't know if he has done that before, so yeah, a special race for him, and a great drive as always.
Great drive. There was also a bit of luck involved in that victory, but it's you always need some luck to win races. It was a great drive by him, and yeah, and Blazer quite interestingly gets the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah,
Nice one.
it is. I mean, his straight line speed was just phenomenal, but both he and Nardo making the move on Shadow in some controversial circumstances on the final lap. A bit of contact. Binmeister will not be pleased with that because he was, well, he was finally on to actually claim a result that was as good as his pace until, unfortunately, for reasons out of his hands for the most part, that is going to be taken away from him, and he's going to have to settle for P6, 1 place ahead of his teammates. So, yeah, we will take a look at the full order and take a full debrief in a few minutes' time. And yeah, also in a few minutes' time, we will come back with the driver interviews, the driver onboards, and basically all of the lowdown on all of the drama, of which there was plenty, from this race. So yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes' time once we've taken a breather, and we'll see you for all of that action.
Yes.
Alright, welcome back everybody. We have enjoyed our moments of peace, and we will now get ready to get underway with the drivers' interviews and hear some, well, a mix of happy and probably very angry drivers, which is probably going to start with everybody behind, well, AJ in a second. So, yeah, we'll see how things go. But, yeah, we're going to start, as per usual, with our race winner, which, as per usual, is going to be Elias. So, let's get him in. Elias, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome
you.
in.
Hello, guys.
Welcome back to your home, and we've got your chair prepared just the way you like it. So yeah,
Thanks.
welcome back to the commentary booth after yet another win this season. That is 7 in a row, I believe now. So yeah, things still going pretty well for you, but it wasn't without challenges today. So yeah, you want to talk us through your race?
Yeah. First of all, shout out to my intern. Sorry, my PC. Just froze when I tried to pit and just took someone out.
Yeah, so that's what happened to Unitas.
Caused the safety car.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It just. I don't know what happened, bro. I just looked at this clip and it looked like it just brake checked him. Like. I wasn't even there. I was on my screen. I was entering the pits. I was on the pit line, like the pit entry. Bro.
Infinite
Yeah,
code
but
genius.
shit qualifying's good races today.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would imagine you were
Yeah.
pretty disappointed with those. You know, that's 3 qualifying sessions in a row with no pole positions. A big surprise for you. So yeah, but I mean, to be fair, you did everything you needed to do in the races to bounce back. Got a win in both. So yeah, I mean, I think aside from that, it was a pretty standard drive for you. The one thing I do want to question about your race was what was how was it like making the decision on the first of the safety cars whether or not to pit?
Well, I got the call to stay out, and I thought it was the right decision as well. But I don't know. I was still questioning it. Like after making the decision, I was still like questioning it. Like, and even more so like when we restarted, because I just felt like it was time for inters already. But the thing is, like, I didn't take into account that the inter whoever pits for inters are gonna have like really worn tires later on. Yeah, I mean, it would have been tough, like to say if I could have won that race had there not been a safety car, but still, I mean, glad it worked out. Um, Shout out to my PC, and yeah, made some good moves. I was like I wasn't I didn't make any risky moves. I chose my moves like very well, good timing. I was patient, and yeah, I mean, not much more to say other than like sprint quali where I just binned it on my outlap.
Yeah, see,
That
that's
yeah.
something I did want an answer on, because we didn't see that. We just saw you retired somewhere on the entry to turn 4, which was very weird. So, can you describe it a bit better?
Not my proudest moment. I was weaving, so like you know how it's not really a straight, it's like a curve,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I was weaving right, and I hit the tiniest patch of gravel, and suddenly I'm in the wall. It just sent my car
Nice.
into the wall, bro.
If you have a clip, then do put it in the
Yeah,
clips channel.
I
We'll
was
have a
like,
look.
oh my god, there's no way, bro. I don't
Yeah.
think I have a clip. I'll check, but if I do, I'll definitely send it in.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
let's.
it's a shame, but I mean, points are awarded in the race, and I won both of them, so
Yeah, you can't really
pretty
can't be
happy.
too
Pretty
upset
happy.
with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
all good, all
the
good
only
today.
thing the only other thing I will say is that I think we were robbed a little bit of you having a battle with Nardo in this race, because he was constantly getting sent back to the back of the field. So yeah, do you think he's going to be a bit of a bit of a thorn in your side for the upcoming races?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has really good pace. He's definitely gonna challenge me more and more. Like if he continues to race. Tomer as well. If he races, I think he'll be a good challenge as well. But
Hmm.
as usual, I'll give it my all. My favorite track is next week. That's Azerbaijan,
Yeah,
bro.
I
I'm not
can't.
winning that, bro. Because it's my favorite track, bro. I'm not winning that. Something's
I,
gonna happen, bro.
we're gonna have to censor a poll up for that one. It's gonna be like it's not suitable for young audience on Twitch. We'll have to blur it all out. It's just disgusting.
No, I can't wall bang, bro.
Well,
Actually, no.
you can try.
You
Mom.
I think you'll have to like keep the increased damage on for like backer, so I don't just wall
Yeah,
ride every turn, dude. Yeah.
yeah. We'll see how it goes. All right. That's yeah. That's all the questions from me. Ixis, you got anything to ask?
Not really. I just came back and heard wall banging, and I was like, what?
Nice.
Bro, nice.
All right. Well, in that case, we'll see you next week and see if you're able to get back on the top step at your favorite track.
Also, I just wanna point out to my teammate. You are P14. Good job. Good job.
Like he's actually
Very nice.
P13.
Yeah, he's actually
Bro.
P13.
P13.
I don't know. Actually,
My
I don't know
god.
how he's.
P14 haps, bro. P14 haps. My god.
Yeah, I don't know
Such a
what
great
went on.
result from him.
Unfortunate.
He did his best.
All right. Well,
Anyways, good day today,
yeah.
and excited for next week.
All right. We'll see you then. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Alrighty,
All
who's
right.
next?
Next up, we will continue descending down the finishing order. AJ does not seem to be in the interview room, so we will skip to our third place finisher, which would be Nardo, who is also not there. Who would be after him? That would be Blazer, would be up next. He's also not there. Seems like a few people have left the interview room, so that's good for fans of people wanting to enjoy the rest of their evening, like us. But yeah, okay, who's going to be next in the order? Dan is also not there. Binmeister is also not there. Nobody's there in the top 6 aside from Elias. All right, so Zuxon in P7 is going to be the next driver in the interview order. So yeah, I'll let you take it away for this one. Let's get him in.
Alright. Can you move him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Hello.
already? What?
Yeah, there's nobody else is there.
Hello, sir. Welcome to the commentating basement of Grand Prix d'Italia in LRC Round 8. Well, I really forgot if anything happened with you. So just tell us how did the race go for you? How did you manage those very tricky conditions? Just as I say it. What
Um,
because we saw you like going up and down, having a bit of crashes. I really don't remember. I'm sorry.
yeah, there wasn't much fighting, but yeah, doing some places and always messing up the first chicane in nearly every restart. So yeah, it was actually a quite optimal race. In the end, it was P7. I think it will be P6 because Nada will get a penalty and stuff.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Where did you pit at the first safety car for the intermediate tire? And if you did, why? And if you didn't, also why?
When I did not, so I made I once did a test race in like the rain. The inters have been better as the dries have become in lap 9, so it would be a bit too early for me to pit actually. In the end, actually, you could say they were on par, the dries and the inters, so I could have gone in maybe. But actually, at the first restarts, actually, you could have said the drives were better, and yeah, in the second at the second safety car, I wanted to go another lap because the drives were still getting good, and yeah, I didn't. I was a bit too slow to realize. Well, there's a safety car. Go in, and I did not.
Yeah.
But still, yeah,
In our
some
Well,
good points.
it's really good to hear your opinion about the changing conditions because we in our commentating basement thought that actually the slicks were worse. But yeah, thank you for providing that info. Um, did you? Hmm. Do
Did
you?
I what?
I believe you were in the there was like this moment at in the middle of the race somewhere where a lot of people crashed after I believe it was because can you remind me who made that dive bump in turn 1 and then caused like a lot of crashes? You remember?
That would be Blazer, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Blazer
that
or
would be
Nada, I
Blaze,
think
and
both did the same thing effectively.
yeah, I think that I was a bit too far away for this.
all right. Yeah, sorry, I was
Yeah,
just that you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Um,
And for another thing, because of the Mr. Bus drama, I have a friend who has to say,
Go on.
My fellow Americans, the missile bus has now been neutralized. Thank you so much.
well,
I'm
yeah,
delighted to hear it.
yeah, we're delighted to hear that one. Um, Well, your pace definitely was. I'll rephrase. Were you expecting a bit more out of this race, or is it like the max you could have gotten?
I think it was actually that place I have foreseen, which I knew. Yeah, that could be the place I land. I don't have that much pace, but with a bit amount of luck and keeping the car on track, yeah, I think that was a good result for me.
Yeah, you did keep the car on track for the most part. Do you have
Yeah.
anything to add? Do you want to say hi to your family or?
Uh, I say hi because there's nothing much else done. I had a good I had a good fight with perhaps in the last lap of the sprint, and yeah, nothing else. Maybe against Phil in the final lap of the main race. Yeah, that was all.
All right. Well, I apologize for not remembering how your race went, but I have a really bad short-term memory. I'm sorry
me
about
too.
that. Yeah.
To be fair,
Well,
to be fair, there was a lot going on in this race, so it's pretty
Yeah.
forgivable.
I know. I know. Being an LRC commentator is a very very hard work.
Yeah, they keep us busy.
Yeah, true.
Well, looks like Exley said to mute for a second, so I'll say thank you for the. Oh, okay, never mind. You got anything else to ask?
no.
Okay,
Yeah. See you in the next race, man.
all right. Goodbye. Good luck
Uh,
for next week.
Goodbye. Good luck.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, and hopefully with less technical difficulties, we can move on to the next of the interviews. Next person in the order would be the next of the Germans, and that would be, of course, Phil Malone, who is currently deafened, but we'll get him in.
Come on, Germans.
Phil. Let's see if Phil decides to undeafen. There we go. Phil, hello.
Hello.
Oh,
All right. Well, we're getting you in, like with Saxon, a little bit earlier than you might have expected, since a lot of the drivers in the top part of the field weren't around. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was certainly one roller coaster of a race, this one for you. Sent to the back a few times, showing good pace a lot of the way through, making some nice moves, and then just getting involved with a lot of chaos, but still coming through to take some good points. So, yeah, how was it for you?
Like I know what happened today was my fault as always, but it still hurts, because
Yeah.
I felt like I could have gotten a better result, but two front wings in 19 laps is quite the achievement, I think. Especially if cars always slide into me. Sprint was really good. My sprint race, I mean, I started nearly dead last and I regained to the top 10, which is really, really good, I would say. But yeah, the top 10, unfortunately, number 10 doesn't bring you any points in the sprint, which is what it is. But then, yeah, it was a tough one today. Considering maybe top 5 would have been possible. But in the end, it's a day to celebrate because my teammate is finally gone.
Yeah, I know you
interesting.
had some you had some drama, some rivalries over the past few races and few weeks. So, yeah, I think you'll be, I'm sure, looking forward to hopefully getting a new teammate for the rest of the season, and maybe one that you can work a little bit better with. But yeah, like you say about this race, it was just, again, not really your fault today at all, and still did the best job that you could do with the hands that you were dealt. So, yeah, I mean, aside from that, I think showed good pace, good consistency to get points as usual. So, does that give you confidence heading into Baku?
No, Baku will be even more chaotic than this.
Somehow I figured you might say that. Yeah, it's
So what I noticed this season, I'm getting attracted to things that are out of my control, and if there's one track where things are out of control, it's
yeah,
Baku.
yeah. We're gonna have to wait and see how that goes. It's certainly produced some plenty entertaining LRC races in the past and memorable moments, but it's also produced a lot of mixed up results and potentially unhappy drivers. So it's gonna be a chaotic one most likely. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. How's your qualifying pace at least around Baku?
I have no idea.
All right, fair enough.
I haven't driven Baku maybe a few times. You have to say it's a lot better than it was in 23. You had literally no grip over the entire track, which is now fixed with the better, worse handling, like I would call it, I guess. But it's at least drivable. But if the driving standards keep up like today, then I think 5 cars will finish the race.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully it should be dry, which might make things a little bit easier. But then again, probably not very much. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much everything to ask from me. It's Exis. You got anything to ask?
No, not really.
All right, fair enough. Phil,
Oh yeah,
do you...
I
Oh,
actually
okay.
I do have a question to ask. I'm not really sure if that was the case, but mm, what happened with Mr. I forgot his name, the guy that got banned.
Mr. Bust. So
Yeah, Mr. Bust.
Mr. Bust got warned last time. He got basically a slip on the wrist because in Australia he tried to take out Loris on the finish straight on the last lap, going over the finish line. He tried to kill him basically. He got a slap on the wrist because he said we gonna give you one more chance. And he tried the same thing again with perhaps in
Oh.
qualifying. So
Oh,
he
interesting.
he like swerved close to perhaps like indicating that he wants to crash into him basically.
I
And
see.
we had enough of this behavior because we said to him, if you do it one more time, you get banned, and he got booted.
Fair enough.
And
Yeah,
and then he of course made some unnecessary comments in main chat, which also led to his server ban. So this blood is never coming again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame when things do devolve like that, but I think you guys
Yeah.
did, as the stewards, you did make the right decision to prevent things from getting any worse, so we were at least able to get away with a slightly cleaner feature race than it could have otherwise been, although the driving standards did leave a little bit to be desired anyway. But
Unfortunately, yeah.
yeah, that is something that we can only hope to improve heading into next week, and that we will probably need to improve if we want a cleaner race. But yeah, until then, that's pretty much all from me. So yeah, thank you for the interview. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks, Matthew.
All right. And with that, well, with that situation cleared up, and with some words from Phil, we can move on to the next in line, which is going to be our P9 finisher of Sauber or Sol or Bolter or whatever the hell you want to call him, or whatever his username is this week. I don't know. We'll get him in, and Ixis, you can take this interview.
All right.
All right.
Hello.
So, hello.
Hello.
Welcome in our commentating basement, Mr. Salba. First of all, I just wanted to ask you how are you doing after this race? This was definitely an emotional roller coaster for you, especially after what happened in the sprint race.
It was quite funny. It was.
Yeah.
I blame this new damage model. I think that was a wrong decision to go to.
Yeah, it was definitely quite a bit chaotic. You had an insane. I have never seen a start that good in my life. Like you went from P12, I believe, to
I was up to
P4.
I was up to P4 on lap 2. I posted
Yeah.
a clip of it in. You will see in clips soon, but I couldn't include the. I got from P4, or from P5 to P4 because file size got too large.
Yeah.
So you won't see the final overtake, but it was there.
Yeah. All right.
It happened a moment later.
Well, how did that happen? Was it a setup? Because I personally thought that it was due to a larger wing sizes.
Soft tire advantage and
Shit, sorry.
advantage with soft tires at the start always, and just I don't know. I got some good timings with the battles ahead, people, and getting a good getaway from the line.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm impressed, man. What about the feature race? Was the I think you were in the pack that pitted for the intermediates when the first safety car hit.
No, I
Oh.
did not pit on first. I stayed out.
Right. Was it a wrong decision or a right decision when you rewind?
I think it was the correct to stay out.
Oh, so you
Especially since the safety car came out right after again, allowed us to pit.
all
Since
right.
the second safety.
All right. I see. Well, that was a very messy race for you, but you still managed to come and finish P9, which is well, I think a pretty decent result. Obviously, you're not gonna get points since you are a reserve driver, but But
It
I
was a
think
decent result.
I think you had some fun. Definitely looking at the fights and stuff. Obviously,
Yeah.
it could have been better, but
Yeah, it's a pretty fun, but there are some people with questionable ability to drive.
yeah.
I saw, especially. I'm not gonna say names, McLaren. That's all I'm gonna say, actually.
All right.
Fair enough.
Was it perhaps the guy with? I'm not gonna. I'll
No,
just leave it there.
he was cool Ferrari
Uh,
guy.
no, I meant. Actually, never mind. I'm not gonna ask.
Yeah,
um.
I think that's for the
Let's
best.
let's not dig ourselves into any holes here.
Yeah. That's true. Um. Well, you did at the end gain 2 positions, so yeah, and you finished ahead of Tim Blythe, which is also a positive.
Yeah,
Big achievement.
and yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes. I just
Also, go ahead.
no, never mind. I looked at
Uh,
Phil accidentally. By the way, Phil did 3 pit stops.
That's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I just want to say, I want to question the drive of the day choices. Certainly questionable.
All right. Well, welcome to the commentary basement, Tim. Again.
Hello.
Well, this was certainly a very interesting race for you. You had some up and down moments in this race. You definitely pitted. As far as I'm aware, you pitted during the first safety car for the intermediate tire. Yeah, and that's my first question. Was it a good choice when you rewind? Uh, yeah. Well, what's the good choice?
I think it would have been a good choice if I haven't backshotted Phil in T1 after the safety car,
You
which gave
did?
me like
Oh,
yeah
I didn't realize.
a tiny bit, slightly tiny bit, and it got me front wing damage. So yeah, I had to pit in the next safety car again. So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, if everyone pitted at some point, there was a moment where it could have been P5.
yeah,
Like
it's true,
on the
true.
track. Yeah. Well, you had after that front wing damage when you pitted. How did it happen? Because we definitely we have seen you go up and down the fields. It was really chaos. So I'm not really sure how did you end up in 10th. Can you like talk us through it?
I mean, I just had no incident in the end. I think that was my recipe for P10, I guess.
All right.
I
Well,
just didn't. I just didn't die.
I mean, it's it's a key, you know. You
yeah.
cannot win if you die. So that was a
I
really good
mean,
answer. You left me speechless.
no, I practiced a lot for Monza, and I also changed like probably every setting possible on my wheel, and now I found the sweet spot. So
Well
I'm
done.
now consistent, and now I only have to look for pace for next
That's
race.
really good. I'm very proud of you. And I'm not sure if I'm correct, but that your first points in
Yes.
I mean you're our reserve, so
Yeah, I'm no.
you're
I
not
actually
gonna get the points, but oh sorry.
I think the story of the day is Mr. Bus got a season ban in quali while in a quali session, and I got a fucking seat in a quali session.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm no Aston Martin full time.
No, yeah,
Oh
I
my
I
know,
God.
but
don't even know anything about
What?
that. What is this man
What?
saying?
What happened?
Ask
You
Loris.
can't just make this up as you go.
I think he may just making shit up. So it is confirmed that Bimpo will now get a full-time seat after 2 showings as reserve driver. That's true,
Guys,
but
it's not. Yeah, guys, it's not true. Nothing's confirmed.
yeah,
I
No,
Loris.
I don't know if it's a Haas or Aston. Loris didn't say it, but he said I'm full time again.
I have been familiar.
I own the grid. I literally own the grid. I own the post. You can't change my mind.
Oh man, but I'm very proud of you that you finished 10th. Was it your first like top 10 position in this season?
Yeah, I mean, it was my first finishing position this season.
Oh, so you didn't reserve any. All right. Well, I think that's all I don't think I have any more questions. Do you want to add something, man? Or say hi to your mama or something like that?
Yeah, hi, mom.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much for
No
attending
problem.
today's race.
My brain is
Yeah.
dying.
You didn't really make this interview easy for me, you know. All right. See you. Hopefully the
Yeah,
next.
see you in
in the next
Baku. I'm sure that's going to be great.
Yeah,
Yeah. And by the way,
it will totally not be chaotic at any
Yeah.
point.
you got 4 votes in the driver of the day vote.
You did indeed,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
You-
Last time I checked, it was free.
Yeah, it's
Who is
fine
the
now.
goat?
I don't know.
Which goat?
Unfortunately,
Which goat have voted for me?
unfortunately, it doesn't look like you're going to win. It could still happen. There could be a switch up, but you're 1 vote behind right now. So
Yeah.
go make that auto count.
Open the
I will give
polling
everyone.
from your.
I will give everyone Discord Nitro if he votes for me.
You should rather give
I did.
subscriptions on
I'm
the
a moment.
twitch.tv/LRCF1.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's true. I should get a 1 vote for being the first sub of LRCF1 on Discord on Twitch.
I voted for
Yeah.
you. You know. I voted. I was the first vote.
Yeah, nice. Thanks.
And I wanted to say something funny, but I really forgot.
Okay,
So
You
we're
forgot.
we're gonna end that
yeah,
interview.
I want to say we should end.
Yeah. Thank you for attending. Yeah, I remember what I wanted to say. Please don't come to Baku.
What?
Please
Where
don't
should
come.
you
I
go?
think we should ban Arrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so do we have anyone left?
We do. The next person to interview would be Trimmer Shave if he's there, which he is.
From a pave?
Let's get him in.
Don't know how to interview, man.
I gotta test that.
Trimmer.
Oh, hello. I don't want to
Welcome
be
in.
here.
What do you mean you don't want to be here?
Sorry.
This is going great, man.
I want to do
Wouldn't you wanna be
anything
here?
else.
Alright, fine. Fuck you. Bye.
The
Alright,
quickest
so after Trimmer,
interview.
so after Trimmer, we're gonna move on to Lelin as the next interview. Let's get him in.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Lelin, hello.
No.
Yeah, now the
All right, thanks, Lelin. We'll see you next week. Bye. All right, so after
Hello?
yo, Lelin, welcome in.
Hello everybody.
All right, so you want an interview, yes?
See?
All right, great. So, okay, what happened with your race?
Thank
You
you,
were
man.
at
For
Millions
the
at first?
subscription. Gonna make you a nice point on my blackboard. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, basically feel summed up like my race. I don't have to explain anything. Phil did it for me. So okay,
Well,
race.
you still finished 12th.
Yes. So,
Yeah, I
so
finished
basically,
P12.
you finished P12. You were running in the top 10 for a lot of the race. You know, home track. What happened for you today? How did things go?
Okay, so straight to sprint race. Pace was okay. I was there. Some fights with everybody. Then with the race, I had an incident because I misjudged the cars ahead of me. So they were like slower than I thought, and I got wind damage out of it. So I did lap to change my front wing, and the lap right after there was safety car. So and yeah, I mean I tried to survive as much as I could. There were nice battles. There were nice incidents ahead of me, which I had the opportunity to enjoy. Enjoying, like for me, not for the guy that got involved. And yeah, pretty much a normal race. Unfortunately, I did lose the place to trim at the last lap, but I literally had no tires and no ERS left, so I'm okay with the race.
I guess
That's a great story.
No,
I was a little distracted. I'm so sorry.
nah, it's fine, it's fine. I would get bored as well, no worries.
Crazy, man.
That's crazy, bro, but who asked?
Those are the worst
That's-
interviews I think I had in a long time.
Yeah.
I told you somebody else should take over, man. No. Okay. Well, whatever you said, I'm sure it was great. And yeah, do you have anything else to say, or are you done?
I wanna say, as Elias once said, tua mamma è una grassa balena. Thank you, everybody.
That's crazy, man. All right,
Thank
bye.
you, Lo.
I didn't knew
Inspirational quote.
I didn't know Elias was fluent in Italian.
I know. Yeah, he had to learn when he moved to Ferrari.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like mandatory.
that makes actually sense. So I guess
It was,
interviews are done.
Oh yeah. Are they? Oh, okay.
I think
Cool.
so.
Thanks.
Everyone.
Are we?
Thank God.
Oh, Aaron. Then let's get Pöpen Peru in. Let me slander this guy. Wait.
Everyone wanted to get interviewed as well.
Yeah.
Pöpen Peru. You wanted
Hello.
to get
Hey, welcome in.
interviewed.
Hey, now it's my
Yes.
turn. So I have a multitude of questions to ask you, but like first one is, how are you doing, man, and how did you do?
I'm
Like-
sad and I didn't do much. I was just waffling during the race.
All right.
So
What's
yeah.
no, like being serious now. What's your
Mhm.
point on like this Mr. Well, I keep forgetting his
Bust.
name. What was his name? Yeah, Mr. Bust's name. What was your perspective on that incident? Well, we were told by I believe Mr. Zoxon
It was
that
me.
I'm sorry. Well, by Phil that he tried to commit well, I don't know how to say it nicely. He tried to commit a
Reverse
very
suicide.
bad act on Mr. Perhaps. What was your
So yeah, I guess I can give context to that because it was basically, well, being on dry tires on the wet is forbidden, as this is in the rule book, and yeah, so he was already in the wrong there. Then he decided to do 3 6s and drift around the track, and he
yeah, we
didn't
saw
do
that.
it for like
We did
one lap,
see
right?
that part.
Okay, yeah.
We did catch that part.
All right,
Yeah.
but just to give a timeline to this, so that was the starting point, right? And then he didn't pit, right, as every normal person would do, to like change his tires to the correct ones or just stay in the pits because you can't improve your time. No, he stayed in the track drifting, and then when perhaps was going past him and someone else behind, who I don't remember who it was. I think a Williams, maybe. No, I actually don't know. Maybe it wasn't the Williams. But yeah, he just swerved to the right to like scare them, like to dodge him, basically. And he was on the racing line and whatever. And yeah, and he was already how can I say, under close watch from us for stuff that he did previously. So that was
Yeah.
just the last straw to it.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you for clarifying that. By the way, I have a second question, which is, have you engineered someone in this race, or
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Elias? Yeah.
Yeah, Elias and perhaps. Yeah.
All right. Well, how do you rate their performance on the scale of just that's how you rate their performance, and if they could have done anything better. Talking mostly about perhaps because yeah, Elias won. So
Actually, perhaps it did have a better, more satisfying performance than Elias in my eyes. It doesn't mean that Elias did bad. Of course, he did really well, but of course, some things could have been managed better. But as you asked about, perhaps, yeah, I'm really happy with his performance. He really was really unlucky today. Honestly, he just got collected in incidents that he got damaged from. He really couldn't do much more, honestly. I mean, but the pace and the whole like race management side of it was really good from his side. So yeah, I'm really happy for him, and I hope he can finally convert those performances into points.
Yes, that would be great if he could do that. Convert those performances into points. Well, I don't think I have anything else to ask you. Do you want to add something? Say hi to someone on the street.
Yeah, shout out Mr. Bust. But well, a few races here and there. I mean, really unfortunate, but maybe he's gonna learn next time that cooperating with your teammate and not being an ass.
Morally.
I mean, he only pinged me 14 times, to be honest, in DMs. So maybe a 15th will do
Weak
it.
mindset. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, it's the
He
update.
doesn't have the grind set.
He definitely has, because he has not written me a single message so far.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah.
Thanks, man, for being there, and yeah, see you in the next race.
Okay, so nothing about strategy. Okay, goodbye, guys.
Sorry?
No. Hold on, guys.
Wait, what?
So, there was a race strategy as well. Did you want to ask the race engineer about the race strategy?
Well, I didn't want to, but yeah, I will.
Okay. That's fair, man. That's fair.
To be fair, I forgot about it completely.
It's fine.
We definitely saw Elias pitting and not pitting at the first safety car.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if perhaps pitted. Did perhaps pit on the first safety car? Or...
Fuck. I think so. Yeah, because he had damage.
Right. Well, do you think that Elias's decision to stay out was a good one, or was it like a mid one?
It was a joint decision, like between me and him. I don't know if joint is the right word for this, but anyway, I'm just gonna stick to my guns.
Decision.
What?
Blunt decision.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Guess.
Anyway, but yeah, no, it was definitely like a collective call from both me and him, and yeah, it was, well, of course, in hindsight, of course, it was a perfect decision because there was a safety car after. But anyway, even if there was no safety car, I know it would have been the correct call, because the people who pitted before, they pitted too early. The slicks were still, the dries, sorry, were still faster than the wets, and so they were just losing race time basically. Wow, Phil, I want your child. Okay, interesting. Anyway,
Hey, what up?
I would be interested to hear more on if you could elaborate on that, because from what we were seeing, it seemed like the inters and the slicks were around about the same pace once we got back going. And I know obviously Elias was able to break a bit of a gap because he wasn't involved in battles, but it seemed like the other guys were pretty close on pace. Would you not agree?
If not
Yeah.
faster.
No, so, well, of course, just the fact of the DRS, not DRS, sorry, the slipstream already helped like the pace equalize. That was of course a factor of it. But not only that, just the fact that most people on the grid cannot utilize the grip that they have, the grip advantage that they have, because they're gonna be fixated on the pace of the car ahead. Like most of them is gonna be the case. So it's really tough to say with that much like difference of level, of like skill level. It's really tough to say if those people were actually extracting the maximum pace of their tires.
Okay.
But the main reason why I'm saying that was the right call is because we have tested that extensively. We have tested a lot of scenarios for this transition race. We know that it's worth it to pit before to have the undercut. If it's like one lap, if it is several laps during a transition, it is not worth it, because the wear drop off in the later stages of the stint is massive. It makes a lot of difference. So
Well,
I
that
knew
makes sense.
over time it would have been the correct call. Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense actually. We thought differently, but like it's you guys know better, you know. We are just here to talk some stuff. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I see why it would be logical for you guys to think that it would be the correct call to like pit instantly, but yeah, there's like reasoning behind what we did, and yeah, in the end, I mean, Of course, I was also expecting the safety car, but it wasn't the primary reason. I'm not gonna lie and say, "Oh yeah, I knew a safety car would come out
Yeah.
XD." And yeah, no, it's not.
I,
It's not how it works.
Oh,
yeah,
and
I think that.
yeah, just one really quick question. What happened to Elias in qualifying, like both sessions? Because he really was struggling. Like
Uh,
from our perspective. It
So one
was
of them. So my memory is like really bad. So forgive me if I'm forgetting stuff. But in one of them, I know he DNF'd while warming up his tires. He literally
Yeah.
just like went into the gravel
Oh.
and just
He,
like
he did
yeah.
flattered the wall.
he did tell us about that in his interview, but I think Ixis was away for that. So
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
yeah. Sorry about
And
that.
the other one, so it was when when the quali session was dry at the start and it was starting to rain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
mhm.
And then, so in this one, what happened is just like he started his lap a bit too early.
Oh.
Well, a bit too late. Sorry, I meant.
Alright.
And some people cut turn one, which we did not think about, which I mean is a mistake on our side. We could have thought about cutting turn one in the chicanes to gain some time and start our lap earlier. Not only that, there was another factor which I cannot remember, but I think it was down to battery usage. Yeah, it was down to battery usage. So Elias used a bit too much in sector 3, which meant that in parabolic and in the run up to the line it was under 10%, which of course hindered the
pace,
the
the
car's
speed.
performance. Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Do you guys want to ask Arrow something else?
I don't think so. I probably had a question, but if I did, I forgot it now. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
that's fine. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know if I had a question.
I'm sorry,
I
cool.
might have been speaking out of my ass. I have no clue.
I'm sorry, coolest. I apologize
It's
about
okay. It's okay. You don't, I accept your apology.
that. Alright, we're not gonna bother you anymore, Arrow.
That's fine.
It's very
Yeah.
late night. You gotta go to sleep. We gotta go to sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys too.
All right. Thank you, man, for being being here with us. To be honest.
Yeah. At least you didn't do a trimmer shave and just say no, fuck off.
Yeah.
yeah, I can understand why it would.
Humor moment.
Mm.
All right. Well, yeah. With that done, we'll let you go, and yeah, see you next week.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
I think we're
And
gonna.
time for clips. Yes.
So I think we're gonna speed run a bit.
Yeah.
For sure. Do you want a screen share, Phil?
I will. No worries.
Yes, please screenshot.
So,
Please screenshot, mate. Wait, is anyone actually watching right now?
I think that there are enough people watching. No worries.
There are 6 people. Oh my god.
You baby. Okay.
So crazy.
We have the Valra first clip from Unitos. Let's go into the clips for stream. Let's see if it catches. It catches. That it's something I do like. You guys see it as well?
Yeah, we
Yep.
see.
Perfect. So we have something from. Oh, I think I know what's happening now.
You're
Let's look.
Wait,
Oh, you're right. It's Unitus, I see.
wait.
What?
The stream is
And-
not the stream.
Ah,
The stream is
okay.
I
Phil,
think
you
messed
might
up.
want to go back.
It's on
The exits can't see.
it's on the stream.
No, like oh yeah, no, never mind, because I thought the Twitch was like not working.
No.
Sorry about that.
It's working on Twitch. I see it. No worries.
Yeah, it didn't refresh. Sorry about that.
So, yeah, this is when Elliot's internet decided. So, nah, I'm good, bro. Bonk.
Yeah, that's this is the second time we've had something like that in as many races, because if we remember in Australia, Lrc also was just teleported backwards on the track. If Lrc actually applied, he was actually just moved back. Obviously, Elias didn't make any difference for him, but in either case, it ended up taking out 2 drivers. So yeah, that's
But on Lawrence, it
not
was
ideal.
actually a glitch, I think, from Elias's PC froze. For a second.
But no, it was definitely a glitch for Elias, because he told us that he was still in the pits on his screen when his car was on the track.
Okay. So, then we have the next round from Elias, which is lap 11 out of the main race. Let's have a look. Better for me, I guess. It's him versus Spinmeister. Nice braking into the turn. Coolest joining.
What a dive
Oh,
bomb.
that's the one move that we did miss on the stream, so good that we got to see that now.
Yeah.
On attempt 6.
And I have to say,
Plus 2
Nice.
misses.
good overtake.
It's not lost.
Very clean as
What
well.
What a dive bomb.
Yeah.
Nothing much to add here. Good overtake by Elias.
Nice one.
Nice.
Nice one.
So we have one from Blaze, lap 16. Let's have a look. Oh, right in between the hack with the other cars. And
Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Holy fucking shit.
How did he
Holy
not crash
Maverick.
into someone? What?
I mean, honestly, he looks like he's driving against AIs.
It kind of looked
Yeah.
like it, but it's like, Jesus. I mean, Saul probably realized, but that he got the car stopped in the time is
Yeah.
wild.
I mean, you gotta admit a good move when you see it. To be fair, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Very risky, but very impressive. He
Very
did it
risky, but very
nicely
impressive.
executed.
I have
Yeah.
to agree on that. So,
And it was also on the wet line. Like on the wet patch of the track.
to be honest, that can help you a bit, I guess, because the tires.
I don't think Codemasters put that in the game. To be honest,
It is a thing.
Oh, really?
Okay,
I
it's
thought it
probably
actually
it's
made it
probably on
work.
like 1%. To be honest.
It is a thing, unfortunately. So, then we have one from me. So I let you guys commentate it, I guess.
All right, let's have a look.
That's
So
great.
we're going for a move on Dan. This
Oh,
is
no.
on lap 3 of the
Oh.
race, and then
I think I remember
this-
that one.
Let's have a look. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a great defense.
So
Well, that's crazy, man.
My
Like,
fucking
yeah,
that was awesome.
interesting defending. I don't know if I know that Blundy ended up 3 wide at some point, but oh, maybe it was Sol. Yeah, no, Blundy wasn't there. It was definitely Sol. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. He ended up 3 wide
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point, but it seems like Dan
And-
just drove you off the track. But oh my gosh.
Oh,
bonk.
what the fu- Oh no.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's a bit your fault. Like, no offense, but you turned it a bit too late. I
Yeah,
think.
it reminds me. It's exactly the same as what happened in Spa, where you're on the inside line too tight and then turn a little bit late, whilst the car on the outside turns too early. So
Yeah.
Oh, what
But
the
it's-
That's the
oh, no.
downside of the controller, you know, because you cannot turn that fast.
It's whatever for this one. I'm not gonna. Because Julio died exactly one turn later, so
yeah.
things happen, and I guess it was a bit of my fault as well. But it's unfortunate.
It happens.
It happens. So we have one from Saxon.
Oh man, face reveal.
That's like known for like 2 years.
That's the
my guy.
usual. Yeah. This is.
Wait, what?
Zaxxon always streams the races.
Ah, right, nice.
Let's see. So a little bit slow on the start there, just playing it steady, and then that's why you play it steady. Infinite chaos ahead, and then he goes from basically the back
that
of the
was
grid up to
clean.
P12.
Average
That was
LSD stuff.
very nice.
Like,
Everything
there was
else
no
is there.
contact.
That was all my progress.
I think there's a bit more to come, maybe.
Average LSD
side by
stuff, I have to
side.
say.
So
That was
Julio
clean.
gets past, and then I think Julio's about to
Oh.
fall off the track.
Oh,
There he
Julio.
goes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
two.
that was close.
Okay,
Up to P12.
But it was
nice
a really clean start.
really good start actually. So
Yeah.
then we have a few ones from me. I titled it "Terrorism is strong even if Bust is gone." So
Let's enjoy this.
Malone,
Jab damage,
2024.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my
See,
God.
I was very confused by these
Yeah,
happens.
me too.
So at the moment that this happened on the stream, my internet was also playing up a little bit, so we saw some lag on our side, and I
Yeah.
thought that it was like, there was just some kind of crazy desync, and that was what caused the collision. Nope, this just all happened naturally.
Wait, who was the?
I think
the
it was
first
Blazer
boot?
or Dan. I
No,
know
it was Dan. What did he do? Why did they push him out?
I don't know. I think it looked like they just locked tires. We'd have to see it again.
That was
Jump
that was
on
a
it,
terroristic move, man. What? Why?
No,
How?
okay, yeah, no, he moves over left. He
Oh my God,
moves
I don't-
clearly left. That's
Yeah,
I got taken.
but he
Second
lost
time-
control.
What the hell?
second time in 2 races that Dan has been caught moving over and taking out multiple cars. So it's not going to be too popular with the stewards, I don't think.
No,
Yeah.
no, this would definitely be a report from my side.
Let's take a look.
Bitch.
So next one also from me. This is quite a funny one.
Oh, I think I I see where this is going.
Okay.
It's a C3 to C5. Monza.
Okay.
Oh no, I don't.
That's why the softs were that bad.
All right. I'm
Oh, yeah,
qualifying. Oh wow.
On the stream.
Ah,
Oh,
that was why you were tired. I see.
yeah.
What the sex?
Well,
It was. It looks realistic. This crash. It looks really realistic.
You can look at it.
Like that.
it's a C3
That's what
to
really
C5,
matters.
Monza.
Okay.
That's why.
I mean,
the
I
softs
didn't
were
want it to. I didn't want to me to say it like that, but yeah, it looks. I mean, it looks really satisfying.
Oh no.
But
what
yeah,
the
obviously
sex?
frustrating.
Well,
Yeah, it was
Great.
only sprint qualified, and I kind of got back in it, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Then we have another one from Mr. Zoxon, actually
Good
called
fight.
a good fight. So let's see if
Is
it
that
was,
sarcasm?
because it actually is a good fight. Let's see.
Was
Alright,
that a
so-
sarcasm?
We're racing perhaps here, so let's see. Oh, there's strange things happening up ahead in the braking zone. It's fine.
Yeah.
Still side by side with the Haps.
Are
Gonna
you?
get close together on exit. Rashid is not very pleased in the background.
Why does it always happen to me?
Okay, it will not say finally me.
This game.
Still side by side, and perhaps is gonna get the place.
But I think
Actual
he's
clean
gonna
racing.
retake it.
Vaga racing.
But that was great racing.
It was actually.
Although he could have, I on his place would have went a little bit more aggressive. On that exit. Like I would let it slide.
You would let it slide, boys.
No, I wouldn't. I would go for it. I would go down the inside.
Nice. Good. Then
Yes.
let me just rearrange. I had to just to ban a fucking bot on the Twitch.
They've already been banned, don't worry.
Yeah, so let me continue. This is one also from me. 9 seconds. Oh yeah, I know which one this is. Oh, wait, this one. And here we go. Oh, no.
Here we go.
That was the scratch.
Oh no, I have no.
You see what?
I did not see it. Let me see this again. Oh wow.
No,
You had a messy race, man.
That was why Nada got spun, yeah.
Now they call. Yeah, he put a handbrake. I would call this. I would call
I
this.
think I'm gonna report it. I'm gonna report. That's your fault, Phil.
Yeah, actually, that's
Yeah,
quite
I'm
real.
gonna take him out.
Yeah, definitely take him out. Yeah, that's true. So, and I think this is one of my last ones. Let's go for it.
Oops.
Also out of
I
the
just
sprint
drove
race.
RNG curb.
yeah, now you just manage. You're doing well in this.
Wow, overtake.
Whoa.
Nice clean move.
Wow,
Nice.
overtake.
Yeah, so
Very nice.
GG.
Into second last.
What a
Very-
move.
What is this Wara thing?
Oh my
Because
god.
I'm.
Oh shit.
You were not even close. to
What a
making it.
block. Let's go.
Wow, block.
What does Wara mean? I like
What a-
water. Ah,
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah, so Mara horse, Blinko face, Trimmer horse reference. So we have a 1 minute clip from Zora. Let's check it out.
Okay,
Oh,
this is
Good luck,
gonna
everyone.
be one to watch here. The soul
Yeah.
start is worth seeing.
Someone went
Let's
early?
see this.
Yeah, it was
Angled to the right. Oh,
Nadu with an
Very good press.
atrocious
User
start.
battery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just totally forgot to leave the grid. Already up to
What
P7.
that start, man. That's crazy.
I got hit.
Oh wow.
The fuck was
Oh, shit.
that?
And he also got hit by
Okay. Use your battery as
someone
much
in
as
the
you
back.
need.
So we're up to P7 now, and we've still got a few more places to make, because Mr.
Smart
Bus
with it.
doing Mr.
Use
Bus
this as
things.
much as you can.
Driving Blazer almost off the track.
Yeah.
Sol is a very brave man to try and make the move up the inside of Mr. Bus.
And he actually
But he's
makes
gonna make it work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm sure he'll
Judo
be
died.
receiving some death threats after the race for that overtake.
Yep.
So this blood tried to tell me he's #1 driver. Ah,
Yeah.
Varian #1
Oh.
driver. Varian
Look at the
#1 driver.
standings. Look at the standings.
Look at bro, look at the standings.
Bro, look at the standings.
The standings you're looking at is a fucking band screen now. So we have one from Zoxon. Wait. Average first chicane skill. Let's see. This is out of the main race in lap 6. Oh yeah, this is Nardo terrorism, I think.
Either Nado or Blazer, let's see.
Oh,
Oh, no, he's just gonna check up on his own.
Moving at the braking.
And
Work there.
gets hit from behind.
No, yeah, there's no fucking
I don't
grip,
think
man.
that was. I think it was contact from Bimpo, but I wouldn't necessarily blame him since Suxon was going very slowly. Everybody was checked up there.
Damage, because I
what do you
didn't
mean with screen? Zoxon, what do you mean? Fiend, that's great. That's a great comment, Loris. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Lars.
I think Zoxon. Yeah, but
Stream's fine, by the way.
yeah, stream is fine. So unfortunate for Zoxon, he got caught up in a lot of bad things here.
Wait, stream is working? Because for me it's froze again.
It's working. It's fine.
I think it's working for me. Yeah. So I,
it's working.
I have zero dropped frames, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Zona next. Lap 2, let's see. Yeah, now they're going for stupid moves again. Be careful.
No?
Oh,
That one was a pretty clean move.
Rain
to
is
be fair.
coming again, I think.
You need to get past AJ.
Too slow on this way.
Oh,
This corner's on the
what
track.
the
Oh.
hell? What?
Yeah, that. Oh my god. That's
No, that's
crazy.
Nado. That's Nado.
What the hell was that?
I do remember seeing that. So I think it was Nado was
So
trying to be on the inside of Dan and then getting turned.
we can.
I think that
Let's see.
was
You
that
can
the
see
moment.
He's a little bit alongside. He's got his front wing alongside, and Dan just moves over.
Now just pulls out and doesn't even think about. Oh, there could be a car
No,
next to me.
no. That's not Nado's fault. He's not doing that on purpose. He's out of control because he gets hit in the front wing.
What
You
is
see
that?
here? Yeah, he gets turned to the inside and then overcorrect.
Yeah, what? No, that's Nado. That's Nado. It's
Nado.
I think we are on an ad break, so let's wait for Saul. I guess he wants to see his clip.
No, we don't need to wait for him. He should subscribe.
Actually, subscribe to Lrc S7, everyone. Oh wait, intermission. So we have the next one, which is called Brakes? Question mark.
Brakes. Where brakes, bro?
Vario Brakes.
Let's see
Where
this.
brakes?
Ooh, what the?
As it goes
Oh.
down.
Yeah, that was Nado.
What
That was Nado.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wait, let's see
Oh,
if we.
that's crazy shit.
Ooh, Naruto. Ooh, what the? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Triple
Nado.
kill.
What
That was Nado. What happened?
We ain't seen the color of this money.
I mean, he had a front row seats for that crash. A front row seat for that crash.
Yeah, I had the most front row because I got taken in. So
Yeah. I mean, you were the actor actually. You're the actor
yeah, but
in that incident.
Could you call it reaction stream if it actually was involved? I don't know, man. So
No, but like he was like watching the movie. You performed it, you know.
I don't know, man. So
I don't know if I think we miss. Oh man, I think we I think I understood you incorrectly. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So we have one clip left from Zoxon. Let's see. It's got the truck.
Like launch bombs at some people's houses.
Damn. Crazy.
I mean,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, not mine.
I am pressing the
Oh.
nuke button.
Yep, that was at ETS2 moment. Truckers MP.
No, if it would have been, it would have been 100% damage.
I mean,
Don't
yeah.
okay.
That was a
mine.
truckers MP moment.
I am pressing
Yeah,
the nuke
yeah,
button.
you're right.
Yeah.
And the, and the physics would have been going crazy. With a lot of bim, 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 bim.
Yeah.
Okay, we have the best clip of the day.
Lobster Eurobeat.
We have Vara Lobster Eurobeat.
What a lobster. Oh, coolest died, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, he didn't die.
Hello guys, I think I died. I think I was killed by the Warlock.
Wait, did he die?
I think I was killed by Warlock because it sounds like reason.
You got killed by lobster? What? That's crazy.
So I think that's enough.
No way.
We have Horse Blinker.
Horse Blinker.
That's LRC, everyone. Great
Basically.
lead.
But I also...
That's actually a horse.
What do we have here, Mr.
It's
Suboptimal line.
Oh man.
I think yeah, exactly.
What a great.
This is also referencing LSC quite well. I think.
What a great league. Join.
I think this is quite majestic.
Toyota Yaris.
But have you ever seen a bouncing Yaris?
Yes, I bounced in it.
That's pretty cool. And with that terrible disappointment,
freak level infant.
I think
And on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell, I think it's
Attack
time
point C.
to finally end this misery of a stream.
Warleague.
It was a great stream. It was a great stream. It was a great stream. Thank you. Thank you for thank you for giving me this opportunity, guys, and thank you, Coolest, for thank you, Coolest, for not killing me and stuff.
Yeah. You know, I did think about it.
Oh, that's so cute. I'm so happy you didn't.
Thanks for enjoying the stream. The race happened a while ago, probably like 4 hours ago at this point. But if you want to see more of that, if you want to see it get even worse, then join us once again next week for Baku. Same time, 7 PM BST as usual. We will be there. We will be there no matter what.
Yep.
Unfortunately, exactly. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on
He's drunk. Phil is drunk.
Not yet.
Don't listen to him. I mean, yeah, listen to him, actually.
Pretty much.
Yeah, listen to him.
Yeah. So, as I said, if you like the stream, next time it's still September, so the subscriptions are discounted if you want to.
1 year McDonald's.
Otherwise,
I'm trying to give Lrc more money.
I hope bro, you're admin, that means your stuff, maybe he shares.
Yeah, okay. Good luck with that.
We have to pray, Vaga Loris, pay us, Vaga Loris.
We'll threaten revolution.
1 year McDonald's salary, 1 Twitch sub.
And with that bombshell, it's time to actually go out.
Lrc has to work 1 year.
Thank you everyone for watching, and see you next week in Baku. Bye bye.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye bye.